to score 2 and pick up $6,500. And that's what we call the in the very next end, Paul Savage, his final stone. Remember, he has to count 2. And if he does, he takes home $1,500. There, forward, and too far, maybe. He makes the hit, but rolls too far. And the big winner in 1987 was the man they call Cool Hand Luke. Ed Lukowich from Calgary took home $19,250 in the 1987 Skins game. TSN proudly presents the most comprehensive curling coverage in Canada. It's the 1988 TSN Skins game. And we are in the Wheat City. We are in beautiful Brandon, Manitoba, about 2 hours due west of Winnipeg, at a very, very great facility called the Keystone Center for this 1988 TSN Skins curling game. Hello again, everybody. I'm Vic Rauter, and welcome to our curling coverage as we begin it again for the 1988 year. And as we have for the past 2 years, we get it all going with the TSN curling skins game. A lot of money on the line. $55,000 this year. $15,000 up for grabs in a women's final that you'll see coming up tomorrow. And of course, there's $40,000 for the 4 men's rinks competing. Now, if you're not familiar with skins games, whether it be golf or the TSN pins game, it all has to do with money. And to make the money a little harder to earn, we changed the rules a little bit. You have to score 2 points or steal to get the money. And any money not won is carried over. If there's a tie at the end in terms of money, they'll draw to the button to see who wins. 65 minutes. There's the kind of money you play for in a men's semifinal, a total of $9,000. And it's my pleasure, as always, to welcome back for another year our 4th together, Ray Turnbull. Nice to see you.
It's nice to be here, Vic. Nice to be back at it again.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. This is always a great kickoff for us because every year, and this is our 3rd, it gets a little better. I think the competitors get more familiar with the rules.
Well, they do for sure, and the format makes it so exciting. There's so much money up for grabs. So in the next 2 days, we'll see some fantastic shot making. And this year we add those 2 girls teams, so it should be, and that's big dough for them. $15,000, a lot of money.
You better believe it. We mentioned 6 rinks, 2 women's, 4 men. Let's introduce you now to the skips who will be competing here in Brandon at the Keystone Center. And there's the man who won it all last year, Cool Hand Luke, Ed Lukowich from the Calgary Winter Club, against Paul Savage, who returns, as does Pat Ryan. He's here for his first time, and here for a second time, former world champion, 86, Russ Howard. The women, the defending Scott Tournament of Hearts winner, Heather Houston from Thunder Bay, and the gold medal winner at the Calgary Olympics, Linda Moore. That's going to be terrific. I like all these rinks, and they are the best in the country right now, coming off their performances a year ago.
Well, you've got 4 of the top men's teams in the world here, and they're very proud athletes, Vic. So, you know, and they know each other. They play each other a lot. So, you know, they know how to play. And with the women's teams here, the 2 ladies teams here, the gold medalist playing our Canadian champion, I'm sure our viewers are going to see some absolutely fantastic shot making.
The 4 men's rinks, well, they'll play 2 semifinals, and they determined who they would play by a draw to the button. Each one of them drew lots, then they threw to the button, and it was really Werenich who was closest, but the man with the final stone was Cool Hand Luke, and as you said, he put it on the lid.
Right on the pinhole. And he had to, because Eddie Werenich put it fully in the button, and he dropped it down the hole. Luke dropped it right down the hole.
Here's Lukowich's draw to the button to see who he would play.
He throws it so well. You know, we've talked about it for years now. Familiar faces, but good mechanics. This is good judgment right here, too. Watch the brushers. He took it all the way. They're on top of it now. And he has to be right in the hole. Here it is, Vic. What more can I do?
And then coming out of that, of course, they drew out of the hat, and Lukowich picked Paul Savage. So it's a repeat of last year's final. Maybe a tougher than what they expected.
And Savage wants that dough back. He lost it last year, and he hasn't forgotten that, Vic.
All right, let's meet our 2 rinks. And let's start with the Lukowich rink, the silver medal winners at the Calgary Olympics. And there's Cool Hand Luke, one of the best in the business when it comes to the draw game, Ed Lukowich. His 3rd, they've been together a long time, John Ferguson. The 2nd, Neil Houston. The problem with this rink, though, is that they haven't played much so far this year. This will only be about the 9th time they've been together as a rink. But Brent Syme leads it off, and he's one of the best leads in the country.
Paul Savage, the round mound of the come-around. He's great. He's thrown that last rock today, Vic. There's the old master, Eddie Werenich. Always there when you need him. John Kawaja. Smooth, smooth John. Neil Harrison has been on the front end for a long, long time. He's as good a lead as there is in the world.
And it'll be interesting as well with that Savage Werenich rink, because they're coming back for this Skins game. They've gone their separate ways, and they're playing out of different zones in Ontario. So when we come back, we'll have the first semi-final for you from this 1988 TSN Skins game. It's going to be a good one. We have the cool hand man, Ed Lukowich, against Paul Savage, and all comes your way live from the Keystone Center in Brandon, Manitoba.
When it comes to softness, believe me, I know. That's what being a pillow is all about. And softness is what you'll find in Purex bathroom tissue. Of course, Purex has been a favorite for softness for years. But now with our new pillowy process, you'll find hundreds and hundreds of us soft little pillows in every sheet. Shove over there, pal. You'll find softness you can really see in Purex bathroom tissue, now pillowy soft. Hey, come on, give me some more room. Come on.
You can feel it. You can feel it. I can feel it. You can feel the cottony softness. Cottony softness makes Cottonelle right for my family. You can feel it. Cottony softness. It's as simple as that. You can feel the cottony softness.
Well, I think it was just the luck of the draw. We drew close to the button, and we happened to pull Savage's name out of the hat. And I feel that they're probably the toughest Skins team in the world, and I felt that for the last couple of years. They practice a tremendous amount of draw at the club. They play 2-on-2 just about every day, and that really gives them a great advantage in this Skins game. We do some of that too, but I think that probably overall they're the toughest team. So we're going to have to play our very, very best game.
Well, I think we'll play the kind of game that we play most of the time. That's a lot of draws. We're looking forward to this because we played Eddie in the final last year. He made a spectacular shot, I think, to win the Skins game. And so we'll do what we did last year and hope the outcome's different.
Interesting comments as we welcome you back to the Keystone Center. We're just about ready to get underway with this first semifinal of the 1988 TSN Skins game. And in fact, if you were to pick each other, if you had the choice of picking somebody to play, I don't think Lukowich would have picked Ed Werenich.
Well, you heard his comments, Vic. He said he thinks he's the best Skins player in the world, and he may be. And as we move through the telecast, we'll talk about a few things. We did some work on the statistics from the Briars, and it really shows some very, very interesting things. There's no question that Eddie Werenich loves to play the close come-around game, and the Skins format is exactly that. Most of the curling will be inside the 4-foot, especially inside that 8-foot.
And the first stone from Neil Harrison. Just in front of the house. And this will be Brent Syme to get us underway for Ed Lukowich. We're in the first end of the first men's semifinal, and this end is worth $600.
Well, it's a skin, Vic, and Luke has to get a couple of points here. He chose to have the hammer in the last, in this first end. He's got to score the 2 points. Neil Harrison. Center line guard. It's kind of interesting. They play a little cat and mouse game with each other. Eddie will put this up in front, and if he leaves it too long, if Neil leaves this too long, you'll find that cool hand Luke will just slide around it. And that's what forces the game all to play into the 4-foot. Here he goes.
You notice as well how quickly they're playing, Ray, and it's because of the time clocks in behind.
We'll talk about that, Vic, as we go through. That's really an exciting innovation as far as I'm concerned. Brent Syme. Now, the first time he ran it off, the stone was a little too close to the rings, almost biting the top 12 foot, so Luke ran it off. And this time, Neil Harrison's second shot is about 2.5 feet in front of the rings. And Eddie Lukowich, round he goes. It wasn't going to be buried, Vic, so he decided to leave it short.
And as soon as that rock comes to a stop, there you see the Savage clock start to move. John Kawaja throwing second stones. Actually, this year he's playing third for the Werenich rink in Ontario.
Well, Eddie chose to, that was too close too, and Eddie chose to hit it. He would like to stay right on the center line, but it rolled a little bit to the edge of the rings. I think the nice thing too is to see the light shade of blue which runs down the ice, and it gives you a good idea of how the rock is curling. And because of the format of the game, there's so many rocks in play. It's nice to be able to watch the rock move across the sheet.
No. Go wait. No.
Neil Houston and his first stone.
No. Go on. Well, lot of way.
Our viewers got to keep in mind, Vic, that Eddie Lukowich has got to get 2 points here to win the $600. Paul Savage must steal to get that skin. Otherwise, we carry it on. John Kawaja, Corn Silk John. He throws it so well. Smooth, smooth.
And if he looks familiar, he should. He was the model for the Olympic curling coin. So when he came out of that coin, that was John Kawaja.
I turned that down. They wanted me to be the model on that coin, but
That would have been a big coin.
It was the silver dollar.
Yeah. And he makes the hit and pushes it out the back.
Good shot. A good demonstration too for our viewers, those that do a fair amount of curling. I mean, that's what we call weight control. He played that with enough weight just to move it out of the rings, and he got the movement he wanted. And no rock is safe. Neil Houston, a little bit more weight here. Moving into the center. He's looking for the little roll now. The roll behind the card, swing in front. There it is. Your turn.
Oh, great Neil Houston as he buries that stone, just biting the floor and directly behind that guard. And now Eddie Werenich moves up. This will be the first stone for Paul Savage, who will throw third stones.
Paul, the left-hander, this is his outturn. Eddie wants to run this back. Just absolutely a perfect roll by Neil Houston. So Eddie has no alternative but to run this fucking back. He's got to hold it up now. Drive it straight back, exchange rocks. Bullhawk routine.
And we emphasize again that for Lukowich to take the $600 in his first end, he has to score 2 points.
That's right.
While Werenich, Savage, they have to steal to get the money.
John Ferguson's been asked to run this one right back. Try and get the double. 1 and 2. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Let's not forget the ice. Shorty Jenkins made the ice here for this event, and it's going to work 2 or 3 feet both ways, and that's so important in curling today. One of the things, Dick, that's really is hindering the game of curling, in my opinion, is that we're playing on so much straight ice, and when the ice is so straight, you can't get behind things. You can't see shots of this nature or as consistent as this. So, you know, that was a great example of absolutely the ice working with a foot and a half and accurate shooting.
Nice, good.
No, lots of room. Wait now.
This is the second stone for Paul Savage in his first end, worth $600.
Good shot. Gonna play that?
Say that or hit right in the nose.
Okay, bump.
John Ferguson and his second stone.
Well, Ralph's got that forward covered up pretty good at this point, so Luke's just going to run it off.
Quick. Well.
You'll find that Eddie Werenich will go around this now, trying to get to the top of the 4 foot. You can see where he's indicating.
Harry's break back around when he played the guard set.
Well done.
Up that way too, but it's yeah, you're right. I see what you mean, eh?
Yellow guard sticking out at that.
Yeah. The thing is, this path's been used a lot.
Yeah, if you leave a piece open this way, Eddie's got the flop behind that
Yeah.
one.
You want to try it this way?
Yeah, it might be better. At least if we leave it half exposed, he doesn't have the...
No, there was guard. It'll break a ton. But we got to get by this one too, eh?
This is a good point, Vic, now to talk about this. They talked about going with the intern, coming around, following the same path, follow Paul's out turn down. But they've now gone to the other turn, and the reason for that is if they go with the Eddie's intern and they leave a little bit exposed, then Luke can get the hit and roll in behind that other guard. So they'll go to the wide ice here and come in with the other turn.
We want to mention as well, while they're discussing this, the clock continues to tick down, and both rinks do have 2 one-minute timeouts that they can utilize somewhere during the game.
That's right.
Werenich decided at this point not to use it.
Yep. Tight. Hurry. Hurry. Gotta go hard. Hurry. Hard.
Ticker! Whoa.
Uh-oh. It really moved across. I was watching them throw earlier, and that out turn just snaps.
Now that raised stone.
What?
They can split that, though. I think they can split it going away. In other words, they can come down and just catch the corner of it, push it onto the rings, and lie too often. That's what they're playing, Vic.
First stone for Ed Lukowich.
Last round.
Try and come across the face of this.
What a shot this would be if he can put both his stones in.
Just catching the corner of it, just leaving it now.
Right on.
Look at it move, Ray.
Snapped on him a little too quick. It's going to be a little deep, too. That's the perfect weight for the split. It just moved too much on him. If he had just caught the corner of that front rock, he could have rolled both those on, Vic. And that's what he was playing.
And then I threw 6.
Cool. Really moved, eh? I think I might have just got it going a hair, but...
Great way for the split.
Yeah.
There it is. Great weight for the split.
Yeah, if we could hit about 3/4.
You really got to cut this and cut them here way inside.
With what?
You shoot off the frame and push it back over the room. Yeah, it's okay.
Now, Vic, it's important that he gets this into the rings, and obviously he wants to get it buried, and he's got a good chance to do so, because he can steal the skin here by stealing a point. But if you ever happen to miss this, you'll give Luke that same split opportunity again. He's taking a little more ice this time. Remember, the last one snapped and caught the front rock.
Final stone of this first end for Ed Werenich.
Wait, not bad.
He's got it up this time.
Room. Get ready. Wait on me. Yep. Hurry.
Really moved across at the end here. We were watching the sheet earlier. Watch it come now.
Oh, boy.
Come on, hard. Come on, right up.
Good looking shot. Good.
So he buries his stone in the top of the 8 foot, probably just biting the 4. And it's a tough shot now for Ed Lukowich.
Well, you want to play that? Hit?
You can see it just as it gets to the top of the rings, it really moves across, and gets right to the top of the 4 foot, and he's 3/4 buried. I don't think Luke's got any shot but to play the raise, maybe raise his own back to the 4
Now
foot.
let's just tap it up, eh?
Tap up his own.
And in doing this, he taps it back. He hopes to score a point, and the money will carry over.
Carry over, right. There's no way he can win the skin. All he can do now is save it. Get it held over to the next end.
So the final stone of this first end is worth $600. Right now it's in the pocket of Ed Werenich. Eddie Lukowich is trying to force it over to the next end.
This one's staying out. It should come a little bit at the end or something. It never came at all. Weight was close.
And so just like that, a steal of 1 by Ed Werenich, and he quickly picks up $600 in this semifinal of the 1988 Skins game. But when we come back, Ed Lukowich will have the hammer, and they'll play for another $600.
Los Angeles Kings forward Bernie Nichols is the Chrysler Performer of the Week. Nichols was a one-man show on Thursday night when he scored 2 goals and added 6 assists in a rout of the Toronto Maple Leafs. For Nichols, a team record 8 points in 1 game. 2 nights later, Nichols scores another pair while assisting on 2 others as the Kings beat up on the Chicago Blackhawks. Nichols now leads the NHL scoring race by 3 points over both Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. Bernie Nichols of the Los Angeles Kings, the Chrysler Performer of the Week.
No one makes a cheese like McCain. Nowhere in the world. Any other cheese you can name isn't anything like McCain.
McCain calls on 100 years of cheese making to create a cheese of vintage character. Smooth as you like it. Smooth as the fresh milk it's made from.
No one makes a cheese like McCain.
McCain, smooth as the fresh milk it's made from. Look for the McCain family of fine cheese products.
Welcome back to the 1988 TSN Skins game. We're at the Keystone Center in Brandon, Manitoba, and already Paul Savage, Ed Werenich up $600 with that steal of 1 in the first end. Lukowich has the hammer, Ray, but you see how quickly, too, and maybe that's just an indication how quickly this game can turn around.
Well, anybody that curls, especially at this level, can tell you it's a game of opportunity, and Eddie Lukowich had the opportunity to split that rock in, but it curled a little too much on him, Vic, and gave Eddie the free draw to the forefoot. He made it, and Eddie Lukowich had to play that raised back just a little too strong. Steal of 1.
Good line. Got rim. Ladder him.
Brent Stein and his first stone. Neil Harrison left his a little short out in the center line. Look at Stein's shot here, Ray.
Good job, Brent. Nice way.
Bites the top of the 4, about half buried.
I'm going to try and throw about a 6.
Okay.
Neil Harrison.
Room. Lots of room. Oh. No. Now. Hard. Hurry. Hurry. Come on, hard. Come on, hard it goes. Come on. Okay. Hey, Harry.
What's Ed Werenich's thinking there? What was he trying
Well, the shot was made so well, you know, to the top of the forefoot that the wrench just decided that, you know, will freeze to the face of it and then really cuts down the chances of Lukowich getting 2 points. You got to remember now, Luke's got to score 2 here to win the skin. So Eddie decided to just come around and freeze to the face, and all of a sudden the whole game's going to be played in the forefoot, Dick. So you've cut the circles in half.
Oh, ladder him. Ladder him. No, ladder him. Behind yours.
Well, Luke's setting up a good situation to get his 2 points now.
Good job, Brent.
Got Brent.
What?
And Brent Stein with his second stone gets to the top of the 4.
Now, this is where the game, you know, really varies. You can see the call by Eddie, you know, Eddie Werenich. He just wants to freeze down to the face of it. He can get a rock right in that pocket, and it makes it very difficult for Eddie Lukowich to get it out of there.
A lot of room.
And you know, at all times you have to keep in mind, Dick, that the team with last rock, in this case Fast Eddie, he's got to score 2 to get his skin. So if the wrench can hold him to 1 point, they'll carry that $600 over.
Come on.
John Kawadu.
Go, John.
A little short. Wanted that right into that pocket. It's a good look at it right there.
Corner freeze.
But those 2 stones in the top of the 4 belong to Lukowich, and right now they're worth $600.
Slade is back here. Back
Yeah,
let's move it.
Let's listen to him for a minute. You heard him say corner freeze, Vic. He wants to corner freeze onto the face of that yellow stone. Neil Houston.
Back ring weight. Yeah. Hurry. Hurry. Whoa.
Neil Houston was a world junior champion in 1976 as well as having won the Silver Broom, World Curling Championships. It worked out really well. It's not what he called for. He wanted to corner freeze on it, but he threw a little too much weight. But it certainly sets the end up well, because now those two red stones are fully buried in the forefoot.
Normal? Yeah.
This is a good shot for John. He loves to throw these big weight shots, and that's what he's throwing. He's going to try and run this back and split a few of those stones in the forefoot.
So Werenich trying to clean house here in this second end.
So that's the first. You heard John's and Neil's comment. It fell back. It's the first big weight shot we've seen, and actually in their warm-ups, they didn't throw a lot of big weight shots, and that one actually backed off a little bit. And that happens in curling. We see it, we see it a lot, year in and year out, where if you step your weight up a little bit, the rock will run very straight. I don't know if that one actually backed off, but it certainly did run straighter than he anticipated. It's a good chance for Eddie Lukowich to really glue these in there. If he puts the guard up.
Neil Houston and his second stone. Those two stones remain buried, belonging to Lukowich at the top of the four.
Right up. No. Right up.
And come over too much?
No, it's a good shot. It takes away the raise. So they're talking about the double raise. Bang, bang.
Johnny's really ran, so I'm going to give you tight ice.
Okay.
Well, there's the comment there. John's really ran straight, so we'll give you pretty tight ice. We don't have to say anything. They'll tell us what they're doing.
Paul Savage's first stone here in the second end, worth $600.
Come on, hard.
Look at it move.
Yep.
I think he wanted more weight than that. A little more weight than that.
Guarding the guard.
John Ferguson and his first stone. Interestingly here, Lukowich almost gets defensive at this point, doesn't he? He has his two stones in there. He's got enough for the skin. Now he's trying to protect it.
That's right. He's trying to eliminate any possibility of the raise, and that's what he's doing right here with the long guard. He's protecting the two stones he has in there. It's not really a defense. It's an offensive play to kind of cover up those two stones. But
Yeah, just come in here.
That's a great shot because he's got the double raise
Get the front one off.
cut off
that
too.
ain't
There's a
bad.
good look at it from the top.
Okay. 22?
What's he want?
What do you want? You'll find Eddie put another guard up here too.
Well, you got them lined up again.
I think so.
He's going to put the third shot in. It's kind of interesting. You heard Eddie say you've got the two lined up. It would be a raise a long raise, but Eddie Lukowich is just going to leave it. He's just going to come down to the third shot rock in line 3.
Would you not have maybe protected those two stones again?
I thought he would. I mean, that's what I said earlier. This is going to curl a little too much, I think, too, isn't it?
Come on. Good way. Come on.
It is really a wasted shot.
Okay.
And then if we just stay with that for a minute, we'll try. He's going to try and raise, I think.
Not bad, yeah.
Should have probably hit it.
What else? You got any better ideas?
That
one. That one's your choice. Maybe you should make that one first, eh?
Well, you get to look at it for a second shot.
Lucky, throw it up a bit. About there. Well, we need about, well, I guess half a stone could spread it around anyway.
See, if Eddie Lukowich had come with that wide out-turn guard and got one to the top of the 12 foot over there.
The in-turn draw, trying to get the second shot rock. Which do you prefer?
This will work.
I can see a piece of a red one too, eh?
I wonder, you got by tight with the out-turn, is it good?
No, it's still not very good. Even this isn't very good, but...
And time keeps ticking away.
I guess.
He's going to play the long angle raise across the sheet. Good call by Paul. Wasn't the way they planned it, but almost worked out okay for them. They were trying to drive it across instead of they curled too much. We've seen a lot of movement with that particular turn.
Or do you want to guard it with the in turn?
Might be a little easier.
Yeah, let's guard it with the in turn.
We want right.
1 inch. No, less than that. Less than that. Less.
They're just going to play the long guard, and they're going to do it with the in turn. It seems to be a little more predictable. That out turn comes across so fast.
Okay.
This will be the first stone of the second end for Ed Lukowich. Right now he has his points to win $600. Ed Werenich stole a $600 skin in end number 1.
Come out. No big. Ladder in. Off the rim. Ladder in. Got him up. Got him up. Ladder in. Got him up big. Ladder in. Right up. Hurry. Hurry. Hard.
Well, they had to leave it. They could have got it across the hog line, Vic, but it was staying out, so they had to leave it. And this gives, you know, Eddie Werenich a chance now to
Let's make sure that one was far enough.
Okay.
run this one back.
Yep. Has he got enough there to work with?
Oh, sure, he can see it. He can see almost a full stone.
I gotta hit that
Well,
pretty thin.
the full stone.
Yeah.
He can see. He can
I
see
gotta
half
hit like
of it.
this much of the rock. Hey? In fact, it looks like we have to hit it thinner yet.
But he's just got to hit it on the outside to see to drive it across. If he can just remove one of those back red stones and leave his yellow stone there.
You gotta hit
he'll
this
make-
thing pretty thin.
There's the comment.
Yeah. Gotta hit it really thin, Paul.
So
I don't know.
for the kind of shot he's playing, Vic, you
Keep
can
talking
see
a little less.
plenty of the stone.
Yeah, I don't think. Give me another inch. I like that better.
So Ed Lukowich left the door open for Eddie Werenich now to see if he can take advantage here and possibly spoil a $600 skin.
He really curls here, so they got to hurry with it. You got him?
Oh, look at that. You leave the door open for that man, Ed Werenich, and you know that he's going to take advantage, and now it's spoiled. And Lukowich now will try again just to save and force over that $600.
This is a great shot, Vic. Just catches it. It curled more than they thought. They wanted to hit it a little thinner, but as it turns out, they hit it just perfect. Splits the back two red ones, and he now lies 1 and 2. So Lukowich has no alternative but just to draw for the 1 point or just play the quiet tap back.
Now there's one shot to play. I mean, that wasn't. I think just overall we got to.
Yeah, we could speed it up a hair.
Wow, right up. Right up. Right up.
This rock should cover enough at this very spot. They better stay with it. That's all I can tell you, because it really moves in that spot there. There's the 1 point, so now we got a carryover, Vic.
You bet so. Ed Lukowich makes the shot, and you know, for the entire end, it looked like he had his $600 in his pocket. But Eddie Werenich picked it with that great shot. When we come back, we'll be playing for $1,200 in this 1988 TSN Skids game.
Head and Shoulders. I didn't know you had dandruff.
I don't.
Chances are you'll never see dandruff on someone who uses Head and Shoulders regularly.
Head and Shoulders?
I didn't know you had dandruff.
I don't.
Because Head and Shoulders worries about your dandruff, so you don't have to.
Head and Shoulders? I didn't know you had dandruff. I don't.
So don't have dandruff. Have great looking hair.
Oh, you need something to work on that coldy sore throat.
Sure do.
Vicks helps, because Vicks brings soothing relief to stuffy noses, sniffles, coughs, colds that won't let you sleep, and sore throats. Like Vicks Menthol Throat Drops.
Tastes good.
Feel them dissolve slowly into an anesthetic syrup and soothe that sore throat. Calm those harumphs and make you feel like someone cares, because someone does. Vicks Soothing Cold Relief.
The Savage Werenich rig picked up $600 in the first end. Second end was blanked. So this one will be worth $1,200 as we go to the third end. And of course, what happens as well here is that the hammer switches around, and it now belongs to the rink of Werenich and Savage. And it is Brent Syme to get us underway here in end number 3, playing for $1,200.
Well, Eddie made a nice, hit and stick for the 1 point, but he had the end set up throughout, and he missed the guard. I was kind of surprised he played the guard with his first one. He didn't play the guard with his first one, but that's neither here nor there. He decided to go back to the third shot. But when he hogged the long guard, and he had enough weight for the guard, Vic, it just that it hung out, was staying out, so they left it to try and get it to curl a little bit, and in doing so, it caught, dug in, and stopped. But you don't give the wrench many opportunities like that, and because if you do, that's exactly what happened. We saw what happened. That's twice now. He's taken advantage of them. He made a great shot. He wasn't, I don't think, anticipating getting that double. He was just trying to drive it across and exchange stones.
Regular. Neil Harrison makes the takeout and rolls to the edge of the 12, not biting. Brent Syme, his second stone.
Well, this is interesting now that Brock is in the ring, so Luke's going to hit it. Eddie Werenich has last rock. There's a tight corner, so he'll try and duck one in behind it.
Brent Syme, we want to congratulate him and his wife, Sheila, on the birth of their second daughter, Amber. So congratulations to the Syme household from all of us at TSN.
Hurry. Come on. Come on. This isn't bad.
Come on.
He's asking Neil to put this out in front now on the center line.
There.
We've seen an awful lot of rocks in play the first two ends. More rocks in play in formats such as this, or with these two rinks. I want to play it a little cleaner.
No. In this format, Vic, there's rocks are the name of the game, points are the name of the game, so you're always going to see rocks in play, and that's what makes it so exciting and entertaining for the viewer. That's there's a lot of skill to playing the defensive game up and down the sheet, but it's not as exciting. I don't care what anybody says.
John Kawaja gets the hit and roll, and he sits top 12. And in fact, we'll talk about that in the next semifinal when we see Pat Ryan against Russ Howard. There's some question whether Pat Ryan and his type of game, the takeout game, can adapt to this format. It's a question that will be answered, of course, in the second semifinal. We'll talk about it a little later.
He'll adapt.
Neil Houston. And his second stone.
Okay.
Difference in this end as well, Ray, is that the 4-foot center line isn't closed off here.
Well, that's right. It's kind of interesting because we're seeing some play on the edges, which is unusual in this format. But there's a chance here. If John Kawaja can tuck this in behind that corner guard, then Eddie Werenich gets himself something going. Here's a good shot for our viewers to see how the rock is moving across the rings now.
Come on, hard. Come on. Right back. Come on.
And you get an idea because he started that rock right on the center line. It moved over the 2 feet plus an additional 1. So it's probably 3 feet.
3 feet.
3 feet, yeah.
There's the ice for the hit. He's got a corner. Here's a look from the top, so you'll see that, as you mentioned, Vic, Eddie Werenich is taking ice right on the center line. This is Paul Savage's out turn. He's a left-hander. And there he is. Now, John Keystone moved late. We'll see what happens here. Our viewers can see just as it's moving across now. It's moved about 1.5 feet, now 2 feet.
You want to hear that?
It'll be all right.
Good try, Paul.
Okay, Paul. Good try.
Pretty good shot.
In behind the tee line. Now,
Okay.
Club Curler may have thought, you know, because it didn't move as much, he would have taken less ice. Why would Werenich go right back the same ice?
Well, he may have felt that John Keystone got a little outside the stick, which can happen, and that's something that's hard for us to tell. And also, Paul's out turn may move a little bit more than John's. Those are things that you take into consideration.
Because instinctively, you might have taken less ice to hopefully get more curl.
You're better off just to throw a little less weight, take the same ice, because as it starts to slow up, and then you can take it, bring it in with brushing. Your comment being behind the tee line, goes to show all of a sudden that stone is now eliminated, because if it had been in front of the tee line and guarded like that, then John Ferguson would have had to, move it back to be shot rock. Now he sits right in front of it. Still a good opportunity though for Eddie Werenich.
This end worth $1,200. Werenich and Savage, they have to score 2 points to pick up the $1,200 skin. Lukowich wants to steal, and right now he has a rock in position to do that.
Hurry! Gotta go hard. Gotta go real hard. Come on! Come on, gotta be well.
Real hard means real hard. Good job.
We actually want to go
And that
past
real hard brushing got the stone there.
Sure did. Here's a good look at it. But he can just touch it, Vic. And you heard John and Fast Eddie talking about it. All he has to just come down, just touch that, move it. All he has to move it is about 2 or 3 inches. It's a good shot from on top. What makes this man such a tremendous career is his ability to control the weight. When he says back ring weight, it's back ring weight. He's got the mechanics of how he throws the rocks are so strong.
Ed Lukowich and his first stone here in this third end worth $1,200.
Lots around.
Now he's got to touch it. They got to anticipate the cut here, brush it all the way, because he's got to hit it on the outside just a little bit there. Just wants to touch it in the corner. He's line 2. Good shot.
So he gets a little ricochet and is able to squeeze the Werenich stone, the yellow stone, out to the edge of the 8-foot.
I think we just hit and roll right there. We might even go roll to our own.
Once it starts falling, it's going, oh yeah, okay. I still was my first one there. He was even moving.
The yellow? Anyway. Pretty tough double. This is probably easier.
Think that's too much ice? I want to get an inside roll.
Once it goes, it goes. What kind of weight is it?
Normal?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Give me a little less. Less yet.
This will be the first stone for Eddie Werenich. I'm surprised. All indications were that he would be throwing third stones and Savage would be skipping. So somewhere along the line, they've made this conscious decision to do this way. Surprised?
Paul said that in the warm-up that he was a better sweeper, and Eddie said, yeah, you are, so I'll skip.
Come on, Johnny.
And there's the roll.
Jesus.
Rolled too much, though.
The guard. I think so. Pretty good guard situation.
I think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll listen to them.
Come here and just set him up for the double.
Yeah. Oh, we're not going to be that deep, eh?
Probably.
Okay, if we were going to draw that there, we would take there, eh? So just a little more.
That one stone, the red stone, is right now shot stone. That belongs to Ed Lukowich. He needs to steal here to pick up $1,200 in the third end.
We could hear John Ferguson's comments. Why don't we just draw to the other side and lie two? And he's forced to take his one. And Eddie said, no, we'll just play the guard down here.
That turn the whole end. Let's play a guard.
That is the reason right there.
Wait, that seems to be a real slippery end down at the other end, and I just think that we should wait a couple ends before we just try and split the rings on that end, yeah.
There's your explanation right there. We know the ice down here. We know the width. Fear here is, and you heard John Ferguson mention, don't come in too deep and leave him in the double.
Guard weight.
Guard weight.
Just playing. Just playing.
Cut it out. Looks like another carryover coming up here.
He wanted to guard that stone at the back of the 8-foot, and he's done that now. And so it'll be up to Ed Werenich to draw inside, pick up 1 point, and force a carryover.
Nice weight.
He's really trying to go, eh?
Oh, yeah. No kidding, eh?
I think they're going to start going more and more here during the game. Like this, we're just going to get a little flatter yet.
You know what they mean by that, Vic? When they say go, they mean swing. It's going to start swinging more and more and more as they go along. It's a $1,200 shot.
Final stone of this third end, and Werenich looking for 1 point to force a carryover.
It's going to be full in the 8-foot, or at least 3/4 in the 8-foot.
Gotta go hard. Come on. It's really breaking, too. Come on. Right out at the end. Come on, Harry. Come on.
Got to get it there.
No.
There it is.
Oh, boy, did they have
I'll tell you, they crushed it all the way, though, didn't they?
Little help from Kawaja and Harrison, and so we'll carry over $600 more when we come back. The fifth end will be worth $1,800.
Terry was a small businessman who thought he couldn't afford a computer. No wonder he was always up to his neck. But along came Amstrad, Europe's best-selling computer. It comes with a mouse and uses IBM-compatible software, so there are thousands of programs to help the small business become bigger. Amstrad, completely amazing computer packages from as little as $1,299 or less. For more information or your nearest dealer, call 1-800-AMSTRAD.
The challenge of competition, the calculated risks, the wind. Asham Curling Supplies salutes curling. Get in on the fun. Asham Curling Supplies, with good service, good quality, and good prices, invites you to get in on the excitement, get in on the action, get in on the fun. Asham Curling Supplies, the ones to see for curling. You can't beat them. Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips.
As we go to the fourth end, there's only been one skin won. That was in the first end, and Paul Savage picked that up worth $600. In fact, he stole. We've had a couple of carryovers, and as now we play the fourth end, it's worth $1,800 in this 1988 skins game from Brandon, Manitoba, in the beautiful Keystone Center. Vic Roeder along with Ray Turnbull as we begin another curling season here on TSN.
Well, the situation's changed around here a little bit now. Each shot gets a little bit more expensive, Vic. That's a long, long guard, and Luke's got last rock, so he's going to go in now.
Not right.
They'll take the chance, even though the 4-foot's closed off a little bit. They'll take the chance and try and get their 2 points inside the 4-foot area. It's kind of first there, first served. Brent's time.
Nice weight. A little strong, maybe.
And because Ed Werenich failed to pick up his 2, he loses Hammer. And Hammer now in this $1,800 end belongs to Ed Lukowich.
Good shot.
And he's got to score 2 points to pick up that money.
And he's off to a good start here. Got that long center guard, and that rock sitting at the top of the forefoot is fully covered.
Neil Harrison. And his second stone.
Get ready.
Mine's all right.
Here it breaks.
Come on, we can move it.
This team is kind of interesting now, you know, Vic, because Paul Savage skips his own team, and Neil Harrison is the third on it. And, you know, they have Graham McCarroll and Todd Tsukamoto with them. And Eddie Werenich has John Kawaja and Pat Burrow and Ian Tetley with him. So it's kind of interesting that they're here.
Yeah, in fact, it
Together
caused
again.
a lot of discussion in Ontario because everyone assumed the two firefighters, Harrison and Werenich, would always stay together, but it didn't turn out that way.
Who would fight the fires?
And they've met each other a couple of times now in different bonspiels.
Yeah, well, I think didn't Eddie just beat Eddie Werenich just beat Paul in the final? That's right. Recently.
Back weight.
Makes more sense.
John Kawaja. And it sails right by. Didn't have much of a look at that stone, the Lukowich stone at the top of the four, but maybe the weight was up. I'm not sure.
This might not be bad. Corner on him.
Yeah. It hung on, just hung out there and didn't move at all. This is kind of deja vu, this end. It's setting up for Luke like
The best you could do is
second end did.
Yeah, remember that second end when he had the two stones buried, it looked like he had his skin in his pocket.
Weight's good.
Curling is a game of opportunities, but even more so in this skins game. If you don't close an opportunity off, we've seen it happen twice so far. I mean, you're just going to lose yourself a lot of money. Those are what we call toss and turn shots. You know what that means?
No.
When you miss them, you toss and turn all night.
Yeah. I was to the hack last time. Yeah.
I went 7 or 8 years out in his sleep.
John Kawaja.
Corn Silk John, he throws it so smoothly.
Not bad.
Lots of turn on the handle.
Right off.
Eddie's just trying to get something moved around here to get some rocks in position to try and get out of this. And
now he raises that stone back, and suddenly Lukowich again lying too.
This would be an interesting call.
What do you think? Come down, freeze this, same spot.
There's a good look at it right there. Yeah, he's got his 1 point in there, so he said he's actually lying too, as you mentioned, Vic. Let's try and listen.
They run the double again. Well, we got run double freezes. We had to hit it. I got the shot. Huh? Just tap. You want to just draw here? Okay. Yeah.
It's a democracy.
And the interesting thing is, and we've made mention of this in other bonspiels we've covered, is that you can't cover everything. So you go to, how do you make the decision of what to cover?
Well, a lot of things come into play with, a decision like that. First of all, where you know the ice, where you know the weight best. But, Eddie kind of indicated to play the tap back, but John said, no, let's just go, go play the draw, come around, and give up a little light, that's all. The double's there. This outside double is there, but Paul...
Like that? Double them off and stay for shot, eh?
Hey?
You can't play the double on the two red ones on this side?
Yeah, then he's got an easy double to lie buried again.
Well, no double's that easy.
I think you got to try that.
Okay. All right.
He's right. I love Paul. No doubles that easy.
It's an interesting shot. I thought you might go for that double and get...
Well, the other thing about it, in fairness to Eddie Werenich, is that double is always there. If you can get in... Watch this break now. It really comes right now. He's looking for the little wick. He's looking for the wick here. The wick.
He's got it.
Oh. They had to rush a little bit, had to hit it a little bit thicker to get that wick.
Okay. Okay.
This is a good call, you know. It's not going to hurt anything. He's going to play. It's easier to get in there with the hit and roll than it is with the guard. If you make a mistake with that guard and come a little deep and leave Eddie a chance to come down to the face of it. He's looking for the hit and roll behind the center rocks. He really snaps here. Just too thin again. They had to get on it a little earlier.
Now again, this double has always been there. The double they could have played a shot ago. Why would Lukowich not have protected that?
Well, he could have guarded it, but I think that he thought if he could roll it in for, you know, draw in or hit and roll in for a third shot, then he really, really had himself in a great position. This is not an easy double for Paul Savage, but
remember, Lukowich has got to score 2. He's already had.
Just holds out on this line here now.
Savage pull off a double against him. 1. Oh, look at this. Is that deja vu? And suddenly again, the Werenich Savage ring come through with the double kill, and Werenich lies 1.
That's the double that Paul talked about with his first one, as you mentioned, Vic.
Sorry about your first one.
Too much weight.
But you know, I had the shot made. I figured as long as we tick, but they never crank.
Well, that much weight, I shouldn't have cranked that much.
Yeah, they ever.
Under the hack.
I'll go turn one better, because then if it jams on the other one, it might spill them both in.
Okay. What do you want to throw?
Bump.
Okay.
He's going to try and run this stone back now. The red stone, his own stone, run it right back onto the shot stone in the ring, sitting at 12 o'clock in the 8-foot.
No. John Ferguson.
Right on. Right on. Right on. Right on. No. Oh.
Come on. Come on.
He splits his in for a shot. And now he's lying 1, Lukowich, but it is open here on the right side of the sheet.
Well, it's not really open. There's the long guard. That's a good look at it right there. It's not really open. If you look at the blue, you see only about half of that back red one, Vic. So he's just going to take his opportunity here to come around. It's his out turn. Two things can happen here. If he gets it by that front yellow one, he can be well there. If he just ticks it, he might be able to squirt them both in for shot.
And Werenich looking to steal here for his $1,800 skin in the 4th end.
He's playing the raise back. Threw it inside. He's playing the raise all the way with that ice.
Now by moving that stone over, that really buries that stone in the top of the 8-foot.
But what happened there, as you can see, Vic, is that Lukowich now has a hit to lie 3.
How much is it? Was I tight? Yeah, tight, Eddie.
I think your weight's probably
a little light, a little tight.
Yeah.
Not the kind of numbers you expect from Ed Lukowich.
Right on. Right on. Right on. Clean. Right on.
Has a chance to raise the average here.
Right on. Wow. Okay, wow.
Look at it.
And Lukowich now lying 3, and he needs 2 to pick up $1,800.
Shut it.
Well, Eddie's only got 1 shot here to save the dough. He's going to. The score makes no difference, so he's going to try and play the come around, get around behind that guard, the long guard, sitting just out in front in the blue.
You like that weight for T-line?
Yeah. Might use more than that.
Really?
We swept it from the hand. I'm not sure we got the thing.
Okay.
Maybe happened.
There's a look at. He's going around that red one.
At the end.
He'd like to get just to bite the top of the 4-foot. Right beside the Lukowich stone, sitting full in the 8-foot.
That's good. Weight's good. That's around.
Final stone of this fourth end for Ed Werenich.
Whoa. Weight's good.
Trying to force a carryover. If he can nudge this one right up beside.
Here he comes now. They got to get it all the way.
That stone at the top of the four. Can they get it there?
Oh, look at this here. They left it too long. So it's a free draw for tap back.
Oh, I thought I smoked that out of my hand. Right at the very end, it jumped left a little.
So there you see it, the one stone, the red stone, full in the 8-foot. That belongs to Lukowich. That's his 1 point. Now he draws in for a second point, and it'll be worth $1,800.
Yep. There's 13 there, Brent.
And who cares if you're curling 50% if you got $1,800 in your pocket?
Well, just playing the tap. I think we're going to get over there quite a ways.
He's just playing the tap. He's going to try and tap his own back. He thinks it'll move a lot. The clock is ticking away, isn't it, Vic?
They've been taking their sweet time so far. We started with 65 minutes. This shot, final stone, fourth in, worth $1,800. He's got to score 2 points. Lukowich has one.
Leading in. He underthrew it. Oh, he's upset about that. He really underthrew it, Vic.
So he comes up light, and the problems continue for Ed Lukowich. Will carry over again. The $1,800 when we come back. $2,400 in the 1988 TSN Skins game.
I hope the good times never end. Drinking Treehouse with my friends.
Introducing Treehouse Blends fruit drinks from McCain. 6 unique refreshments bursting with 30% fruit juice from concentrate.
Grape raspberry, what a blend.
Orange banana, perfect.
I hope my childhood never ends. Drinking Treehouse with my friends.
Treehouse Blends from McCain with 30% real fruit juice in single servings and frozen concentrate.
Treehouse with my friends.
With so many automatic features, Zenith's new smaller VHS camcorder not only lets you take perfect pictures, it lets you show them again and again. Zenith. Quality.
The NHL live on TSN. Friday, it's a Norris Division battle when the Leafs meet the Red Wings live from Joe Louis Arena. It's the NHL tonight, this Friday night, starting at 7:30 Eastern on TSN.
There you see the time remaining. 41 minutes, 5 seconds for Paul Savage and Ed Werenich, and Lukowich has taken a little bit more time. And remember, they each have 2 one-minute timeouts that they can use.
Another chance.
$600 is the only skin that's been won. That was in the first end. We carry over 18, and now in this fifth end, it's worth $900, so we're playing for $2,700 in this fifth end.
No way you can make it if you're light.
And the hammer belongs to Ed Werenich. Boy, you got to think that Cool Hand is a little rattled right now.
Well, I don't know if I'd use the word rattle, but he knows. We just talked about opportunities, and when you lose those opportunities, you do toss and turn, I can tell you. But I don't think it'll affect his play in any way. I mean, they approach it, especially in this kind of a format, maybe in a game format where the score ultimately matters, but not in this format, because this end is a new game as such, Vic. It's a brand new game, so it won't bother him. It could turn out to be a bad miss, because that's an $1,800 skin he had in his hand. So we'll see what happens here, but I don't think it will affect his curling as such.
Yep. It's funny the way the two skips are playing. When Lukowich has been forced to throw first, he likes to play the tight guard up in front, up to the rings. And when Werenich's forced to throw first, he'll ask Neil Harrison to play the long guard.
Well, that's true, actually. Eddie Werenich does, when he's throwing without the hammer, he does play his guards a little longer than most other teams do, Vic. And as a result, he gets himself into lots of steal situations. And some of the stats that we'll try and show you from the various priors later on kind of indicate that. That that rock was too tight, just too tight to go around, so.
Hey, Brent.
Now it'll be interesting to see here. Eddie Wernich's got last rock. Rock's on the forefoot.
Freeze it or hit it? Freeze? We better hit it.
There's a couple.
Just keep it up to normal, okay?
A couple opportunities. You could freeze to the face of it, or you could just tap it back, or you could ignore it completely and play the corner guard. But it's in the forefoot, and with that kind of money riding in this end, I guess they feel, well, let's just play a little clean here for a minute and see what happens. Now, Neil Harrison hits this and rolls to the outside, which he's attempting to do. And Luke hits this and doesn't get a roll back to the forefoot. You'll see Eddie probably throw up the corner or play the freeze.
Neil Houston and his first stone here in this fifth end. An end worth $2,700. All right, now he didn't get the roll.
Now let's see the call now.
Like corner guard?
Corner guard.
I should never doubt.
There's only the 3 or 4 options. I had a 25% chance of being right, Vic.
Stay with it. It's covering too much of the house.
John Kawaja and his first stone puts up the card. Just covering the edge of the forefoot.
They like those a little bit longer than that, just a bit.
Yeah. Great. Whoa. Good shot.
Eddie didn't really want to remove his own stone, so now he gives John Kawaja a chance to play the corner guard again. If they're going to play it to the outturn side, go to the other side this time with it.
Yep. No.
This time Kawaja goes to the other side, and it's almost a mirror image of his first stone, just to the other side of the center line. John Ferguson and his first stone, and Lukowich again looking for the hit.
They want to roll this into the ring so they can. Don't want to leave it there. What a good shot.
Good shot.
Nice shot, is right. There's the roll. Almost
Just
rolled right into the
outside.
rings.
Yep. But enough now to work with, or is it again too tight? I mean, you can't wait too long if you're Werenich. You've got to get some rocks in play here.
Yeah, no, he's going to go now. Left-handed Paul Savage, his outturn.
His first stone.
Lots of room.
Lots of room and lots of weight too, I think. Nice sound. That's the one thing we miss a little bit in the game, is that sound of the sweeping. John Ferguson, they're going to force this in a little bit now.
Of the 4 we've played, this fifth is the cleanest so far.
Yeah. It's a little strong too. It's coming right down that center line.
Yeah, go on it.
They want to get it out of there now, because if he leaves it back there, it gives Eddie a chance to freeze up to it.
Not enough. It hangs on at the back.
Yeah, it's not a good shot. That's the shot you have to have in front of that tee line. And now it's a chance for Eddie Werenich to come around that guard with Paul Savage's last stone. Tuck it in behind the guard, even though it's close to the center line. And there's a little back behind it.
Hurry! Rub! On its own if you can. Here it comes. That's nice. Hard. Get it deeper though. Get it deep. Get it deep. Come on!
gets it into the top of the 4, and it's maybe 3/4 buried.
He's going to get a bit of move here, right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Here's a good look at it now, Vic.
Whoa.
You can see
I
half
sure
of the
feel that
stone.
bump with my foot. I just came over it and it just killed that rock last time. Could have played the other turn when I had the weight. Yeah. We won't throw around. We won't throw where the bump is.
I was talking about a little bump on the ice. He wants to remove this now.
First stone for Ed Lukowich, looking to steal here in this end where
He's got bumper weight, approximately bumper weight.
$2,700.
Line looks good. There's the corner of it now. He controls those rocks so good.
And you make the point it's controlled weight.
But that's one of his strongest points, and we've talked about it in the various priors and things we've done in World Championships. Vic, he is one of those. They all have a great touch for the game. And, you know, I'm not, but I usually kind of single him out a little bit.
You can feel all kinds of ripples when you're sweeping. You can.
Yeah, well, I did that rock just hit it absolutely dead on, eh?
They're talking about maybe a few little ripples on the ice surface. And
right. Keep going.
It's interesting. Okay. These guys have a great feel for the surfaces.
I'm drawn. Would you like that?
Probably that number's not so good for the skip either, Ed Werenich. So both skips, Werenich and Lukowich, having their off nights here in this first semifinal of the 1988 TSN Skins game.
He's just playing the draw here. You're going to talk about when he sat in the hack. Let's just go around it. We're going to try and get 2 points. If I can get this buried now.
Okay, you go. Start she goes, Jim.
I want to try and get it back as far as I can.
And they do draw it back to the back of the 8.
Well, Luke can't see as much of it now, so all he can do is play down to it. Draw down on the face of it.
I thought that was going to duck better than that.
Yeah, well, we got mine.
But the wrench is shot rock right now.
What do you guys get on that one?
Well, this is a big shot for Ed Lukowich as well here, because he can put it up there. He'll force and try and force the carryover. Miss this, leaves it open, and a $2,700 end for Mr. Werenich, possibly. So a big shot with the final stone here in the 5th end for Eddie Lukowich. Right off it and right back.
Eddie's got the same shot.
Werenich just followed the rail down there.
Yep.
This way. Play it on the ice.
The only difference is, Dick, if you don't make it,
Start it up.
yeah, you give up all that money.
How much?
This stone is worth $2,700. Eddie Werenich makes it. Scores his point, will carry it over, and will add 900. Werenich misses it. You take that $2,700 and put it in the pocket of Ed Lukowich.
Here's a good look. Got the thrower in the hole of the broom. Now the stone belongs to these two brushers right now. The only thing you want to do is overthrow it. Keep it clean, he says. Rudy's starting to move.
Come on.
He's got the good line, Nick. Combined with the right weight.
When the money's on the table, and these two shoot. So we'll take the $2,700, we'll carry it over to the 6th end, and we'll add 900 more. That's what the TSN Skins game is all about, money.
This update is brought to you by Texaco. Well, if you're a curling fan, then TSN is the place to be. Lots more curling to come your way tonight here on TSN. And if you're a baseball fan, then listen up. The Montreal Expos making a big deal this afternoon. Picking up pitcher Kevin Gross from the Philadelphia Phillies, sending pitchers Floyd Yeomans and Jeff Parrott over to Philadelphia. The Texas Rangers also still very busy down at the baseball winter meetings, wheeling and dealing. The Cleveland Indians and Texas swinging a deal. The Principals, Julio Franco going to Texas for first baseman Pete O'Brien, outfielder Odabe McDowell, and second baseman Jerry Brown. So lots and lots of baseball news coming out. Also talk that the California Angels are still pursuing free agent pitcher Nolan Ryan. They've offered him a contract worth $1.9 million over the next couple of years. Ryan hasn't yet made up his mind. Also some hockey news to pass your way when we get to Sports Desk, which follows the curling, and then after that, more curling for you. So stick around. Lots for you tonight here on TSN.
For years, you've come to Texaco for the clean gasoline. But if it was up to your car, you'd come to us more often for quality products like Haviland Motor Oils. Your car knows how good they are, so why not pick up a few? Expect more from Texaco.
Hey, this is getting a little rich right now. $600 is the only skin won so far. That was in the first end by Paul Savage. We add another $900, and as we go to the sixth end, $3,600, and Lukowich will have the hammer. Neil Harrison gets us underway.
$3,600 in one end. Well, the wrench has to steal now, and that's what he's very good at.
Now there again, the first stone, and you see the time, 35 minutes left for Savage, approximately 35. We can't see John in the way, but they're about equal. But they've taken a little bit more time, I think, than they would like to. So maybe those 2 1-minute timeouts will become a factor as we get to the 8th, 9th, and 10th ends of play. Brent Sack. Makes the nose hit, and he sits right there.
Well, it's not what he wanted to do. He would have rather rolled to cover one of the corners, Vic. It's getting a little testy here.
Line's good. Line's not bad. Come on. Yep. Gotta go hard now. Gotta go real hard. Come on.
Look at that move. Just gets a little bit of a whip. And you could hear Eddie saying, "Sorry, Neil, we should have been on it."
Yeah, well, that was a bad call. That's why he's, Ed said that let Neil know that you threw it good, you had the right weight, and they just didn't call it properly for you. It's interesting that we took, we drew some stats out of 3 Briars for both these teams. Lukowich's 3 of his Briars, and Werich's 3 of his Briars, and actually my skip Terry Bronson and I did this on our way home from Florida just recently, and it was really interesting.
Okay, good, Brent.
There's the hit and roll.
Well, he misses it, and it shoots to the back, and now pushes it over into the open.
In 3 Briars, 330 games we just took to round robins. Eddie Werenich stole points 55 times as compared to Eddie Lukowich's 40 times. So here's Eddie Werenich in a steal situation. So it's one thing he does do very well is steal points.
Hurry! Hurry!
The last shot, they didn't get on it enough. This time they're there, and it's John Kawaja drawing it right back to the button and fully buried. What a shot by John Kawaja.
Tap back. In turn. We go on it right away. This in turn doesn't snap like the out turn does in that same spot.
Oh, he gets the little rub and just pushes it back enough. And now Lukowich. Now he's having a look. I would think he's shot.
You can see it just doesn't curl like the out turn does there. This is the in turn, but it stays straight. He just catches the front one, just takes it, straightens it out a little bit. When he moves that Werenich stone back, and I think that Eddie thinks he's still shot. Pretty hard to tell, but just by the shot he's called here, Vic, I think he feels he's still shot rock, sitting just at the back of the butt. Just want to move that one now.
No, he gives it a little bit of a tap and moves over.
It worked out pretty well for him.
Oh,
He's definitely not shot. The red rock is shot as far as I'm concerned, but it...
I think so.
Yeah. $3,600. That's what's on the line here in the sixth end.
Is that this back 8 foot?
The Lukowich rink need 2 points to win the skin. And right now they have 1.
Good wave.
Now let's remember this out turn. It really comes off this line here. Keep it clean, Eddie says. Here it comes now.
Slides it back, pushes it back, and now where will the shooter go? Well, the shooter rolls a little too far, and second and third shots still belong to Eddie Werenich and Paul Savage.
Hair?
You know, you talk about the number of steals that they have made in their careers. It's just a tribute to the kind of shot makers they are. I mean, Savage and Werenich have always been considered two of the best shot makers in the game, and you set up steals by making great shots.
Well, it's the style of game they play. That's right, Nick. They love to play that fine touch game, and they set the game up to play that way. So this is an interesting call. They're playing this wide intern. This is Paul's wide intern. And
get a little rough.
Whoa, just whoa, we got the rough. That's not bad.
What Eddie is saying here, Vic, is he's saying, okay, Eddie Werenich is saying, okay, he said, you've got the 1 in there, but I'll make it so difficult for you to get the 2.
Back ring.
And you can see Eddie Lukowich is trying to keep it open so we can get his 2 points.
John Ferguson and his first stone for the Lukowich rink.
It's a risky shot, but you have to play it. He's going to try and hit this one and roll to the inside towards the center line. Watch how it moves now, right here.
Hurry! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
What a good shot this is.
Oh, look at that.
See how risky that shot is, though. You know, there's a chance if you don't just play it perfectly, you can drive it back onto your own shot zone.
Double.
What about the double, Skipper?
I just called timeout. This is very important shot.
I call time. Just try tap that back. All right.
See now the clock coming into play as they tick down 32 minutes and counting. And Savage wondering about whether they should take one of their 1-minute timeouts. Well, that was right after their World Championship year. $96,000 for this rink.
This one's moving a little bit too. I think he must have underthrown this because we didn't see that kind of movement in that spot.
Paul asked about the double. Hindsight, go for the double there when it was open?
Well, I like the call. I like what Eddie called. He was playing the tap back, and he said sorry, so maybe he just didn't give Paul enough ice.
I think we gotta get rid of that.
Yeah, I think we gotta get rid of that rock.
Catch. Just 10 feet more than I had last time.
They don't like that yellow stone there, the Werenich stone, so John Ferguson's going to play it out. Now this is, once again, you have to be very, very precise with this shot.
There's a second stone. And the Lukowich rink need to score a couple of points, remember, to take home that $3,600.
his own, but
Now the red stone just biting the top of the button belongs to Lukowich, so he lies one, but the second stone buried
No.
at around 3
If
o'clock.
it comes up and go this way and
The
sit
4
there, right?
foot.
Yeah.
That belongs
You gotta
to
play your intern?
Werenich and Savage.
We have to. Yeah. Should go pretty straight. Should. Straight down and maybe break at the end good. Break it away? Yep. Okay. Make sure we're across the face, though. The last thing I want to do is nose it.
you can see why he's saying that. If he leaves it right there, he'll leave the double for
We could
Lukowich.
have played the other turn, too.
I was thinking of it.
Yeah.
Already.
You want to roll this? You want to roll the other one?
Well, we're buried.
Yeah, we roll right in there. He's got no edge.
You like that better? Yeah. Geez, it's scary, though, if I ever hit that red one.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're saying.
Down a run.
Okay.
Either way. This might not count.
What are John and Neil thinking of here?
Well, Eddie wants to roll away to the other side to lie two, split the rings, and Neil wanted to roll in behind. You heard Eddie's last comment, well, either way. So that the key now is that Paul Savage has to call this.
Hurry! Yep! Hurry!
So he'll call it one way or the other. It's going to curl a little bit. I think he's going to try and roll it away.
There's the hit, and he gets a little bit of a roll, but mostly a nose hit, and as you say, he didn't want that.
Well, it just may have rolled enough so it took the double away. Yeah, I think it did, Vic. I don't think the double's there.
You want to call timeout? Yeah, looks like it's kind of lined up, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so.
And I'm thinking, gosh, you know, it might run, and then it came up good.
This was nice shot. Well, it's going to open it up for your next one, if nothing else. It's going to open this rock up. You want to call timeout? Timeout.
Timeout's been called for the Lukowich rink, and the clock stops at 30:33 remaining, and they have 1 minute.
Roll right here. Just hit that and roll here. He's going to have to guard that anyway.
Please.
Make this.
Cut it across the face of her own. What do you guys think?
Could play this, eh? So that should probably stay right about on the top or just roll over here, eh?
You can see what they're talking about, Vic. They're talking about hitting the Yellowstone that's frozen to the face of the red one that's just biting.
It's going to go back here. It might even spin back up here. I don't know what kind of way you got.
Plus we open up this and there's a possible level here.
This is a $3,600 end.
There it is now, Vic. They're talking about hitting that Yellowstone right there where Luke's room is. It'll drive the red rock back onto the Yellowstone that sits at the top of the 4 foot. You heard them say, I think it's lined up perfectly. And as John said, even if nothing else, you remove the yellow one and it'll open up for your last one.
And the clock has started to run again, so they've used their first timeout.
And our viewers should remember that Lukowich has to score 2 to get the $3,600, and Eddie Werenich, Paul Savage combination, they have to steal a point to get that $3,600. And there it is.
This is the first stone of the 6th end for Ed Lukowich. He has the hammer.
One, two.
Now that stone at the 4, which they'll kick away, hit the bumper.
Off the bumper, right. Off the sideboards.
So it's one yellow stone, still shot stone, and that belongs to Werenich and Savage. And remember,
Going that way. This is about where your line where they ended up. Huh?
they're looking to steal. In fact, they may be lying too, right?
Yeah, yellow or
up in this position here. Oh, I see what you mean. As long as I don't leave them a notes. On that side. Okay. Now you had edge to the edge of the 4 to get into this area here. Yeah, I drew it right there though, eh? And I had edge of the 4, so okay. I'm going to be a lot shorter. All right.
Well, the Werenich-Savage combination are lying shot and second shot. And they must...
Doug? Time?
Timeout called for Werenich, and his clock stops at 29:06.
Let's listen to them.
His are in off ours.
Too tough. Okay. Off ours. You can talk me into that, but that in turns through the holes. No way.
No, not through the hole. Always.
Oh, around.
Around his or in off.
You like that?
Well, I'm not. I just thought we should look at it. That's all.
It's a good spot. Let's come on down here and I'll have a look at it.
You see, Neil and John, they were just going to come down to it, play the guard on it, but now they've...
You want to try throw it in here? there, why not?
Coming right in.
Get it up in there?
Yeah, right there.
I guess if I don't move it, I'm going to leave him an easy shot to get out of the skin.
Well, right there's good.
Yeah.
You just play it basically here. If it's a little heavy, then you got to play the...
Yep. Okay. Yep. It's going to go, should go good at the end.
Well, you see what?
Yeah, it stays fairly straight most of the way down, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know, Neil stopped them and said, if they were just going to play the dart, he said, no, let's try and go in, and we can get her right in there. We can maybe steal this $3,600 right now.
Like that ice?
Then you heard
I got to
Paul.
play this up with the though. Like, I got to throw like 7 to make this shot right.
Yep.
Hey?
Yep.
Harry?
No more than... When
Yeah.
you just 6.5, we stopped at 8, so that's good.
You think I got too much?
No.
No.
Am I correct in saying when we've seen this kind of shot before, it doesn't move quite as much this way?
Not as much as the outturn, not as much as the other side. But a few of those, when they turned them in, they turned a few of those in, or they got them started, it seemed, and they did come a little bit. But it certainly doesn't move as much as the other side of the sheet does.
How's the weight?
He's just like a little tick off. They just want to.
Gotta go for line. Lads. Gotta go.
It's coming a bit now.
Gotta go.
You gotta get it by. Now you give him a chance for 2. That was the danger.
1 second.
Yeah, now they're taking a look.
Yeah, by a long ways.
Now it's a hit for 2. That's the danger of that. It really moved.
Whatever.
No doubt about that stone at the top of the top of the 8.
No, that's it. No way. That's a hit for 2. That was the danger of that shot.
So a chance here for Ed Lukowich to make the hit on that stone just at the edge of the 4 foot. And he picks up. If he can score 2 and hold the shooter, he'll pick up $3,600 here in the 6th end.
Yeah, he's got a stick because the 3rd shot rock belongs to Paul Savage and Eddie Werenich.
That's right. And let's remember he had that draw too that he missed, so it's not a given here in this first semifinal of the 1988 TSN Skins game.
Right on.
Haven't put a brush to it. Haven't put a brush to it.
Not at all.
Haven't put a brush to it. He put it by, and he's enough.
That's $3,600 miss is what that is. That's unbelievable. He got it out there and it just ran right down.
And the steal of 1 by Paul Savage on that missed shot as Ed Lukowich just looks away, wonders what happened. He picks up $3,600. We'll go to the 7th end when we come back.
Scotties are her best friend, I don't. She can wipe away each tear for everyone that's dear. Scotties are soft for all my friends. She can wipe away your makeup just as quickly as you please. Scotties are so gentle on my skin, darling. Scotties soften the blow.
The challenge of competition, the calculated risks, the win. Asham Curling Supplies salutes curling. Get in on the fun. Asham Curling Supplies, with good service, good quality, and good prices, invites you to get in on the excitement, get in on the action, get in on the fun. Asham Curling Supplies, the ones to see for curling. You can't beat them. Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips.
Welcome back to the Keystone Center here in Brandon, Manitoba, the 1988 TSN Skins game. And that missed shot by Ed Lukowich was worth $3,600 to Paul Savage, and they've now won $4,200 as we go to the 7th end. And it is worth $900. Well, let's remember, Ray, that there is still $4,800 left to win. So Lukowich will have to turn it on, but he's not out of it yet.
No, he still got the chance. That was that's a huge miss, and it's I don't have to repeat it, and no one knows it more than Eddie. He had the chance for the the opening was left there, and he had a chance for the hit and stick for 2 to get the skins and turn it. He's sick about it. Because really, it was a missed shot by Eddie Werenich that gave him the opportunity. Because if Eddie gets that in there, he looks like he's going to, you know, if he makes a good shot, he's going to steal. He could have closed it off with a guard and forced Eddie Lukowich just to draw for the one pick, but he decided to really go for the throat himself, and he didn't make it. And well, you can see that
what's up here, yeah, because Neil Harrison's first stone is into the back of the, almost on the button, back of the 4. And Syme comes in on top.
Well, because Lukowich is going to go for everything now, and at this point, Eddie Werenich is quite prepared to kind of play it a little bit open for a couple ends. All he needs to do is kind of steal one more skin, and the possibility of being the winner is gone for Lukowich.
Let it go. Come on.
He's going to drive it straight back. Yes, he is.
That's the spot he's been getting that outturn a little bit. That's the spot he's been getting the outturn going.
The Lukowich rink still with the hammer here in this 7th end. As we now play for $900 after that $3,600 end by Ed Werenich and Paul Savage.
The guard, he's got that shot rock pulling the 4-foot. He's got the possibility of one in there. He's got one in there now, the possibility of setting up his deuce. It's one thing about Eddie, he just
Well, he threw two identical shots basically 2 ends ago going down there with the interim. The one he threw out was more.
So the Yellowstone of Savage and Werenich right now is shot.
Yeah, let's go stay there.
Neil Houston. Neil and John and Brent and Luke want to say a special hello to a friend, Terry McCready, back home ways, who's spent some time in the hospital recently, and so they send their best wishes to him. Stats, they call them. We could use them right here.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Tick bump.
Double there if you hit thin.
That's right.
Great. Okay. Is there a hole there? No.
John Kowalczyk. And this is his second stone.
Hurry! Hurry! Go hard.
Gonna hit this on the nose, I think.
Gets the roll across and squirts in between those two and still leaves Lukowich one buried.
Had to hit it thinner.
Regular.
You can see what Luke is playing here. The best way to get in without causing any problem is to hit and roll in. So he's asked Neil Houston with his last rock to play this outturn hit. Try and roll into the 4-foot. Here it is.
Oh, look at it move.
Just as you say, it just moved right across.
Just past ours, guys.
Paul Savage. This combination of Savage and Werenich has given curling all across the country a lot of entertainment over the years. And it's kind of sad that they're not playing together anymore because they were a great combination. But then again, it's kind of neat that, you know, that Ontario now, instead of having, you know, they've got a lot of very, very good rinks in Ontario, and now they've got just one more because both are very capable skips.
Didn't get it by.
Really snapped.
And now that stone is really buried, and a chance possibly here for Lukowich to put one more in behind.
You can play it by or you can play the double.
What do you guys think?
we gotta play it tight. Or even just draw down to it.
I think you can play it out.
What's the play here then?
Well, it's dangerous, but he's going to try and play it out. He just doesn't want to leave it there, because if Eddie taps it up, then he'll never get it out of there now. He's got his one. But this is also a very dangerous shot, because you've got to hit it perfectly. You just got to buy that front red with that long one. John that back yellow one on the nose.
And his first stone.
Here it comes now.
Whoa, whoa. Right out.
He's got the great line. Look at this curling. Unbelievable.
And a controlled weight, and just pumps it out the back.
That is a good
And it
shot.
just hangs on to the back of the 12.
Very well thrown. He just threw perfect weight. A good shot.
He just straightened it. Just straightened.
Yeah.
Paul Savage settles in. This will be his second stone. I think, though, and both have admitted, that the time came that they had to go their separate ways. They just had...
I think it's great.
Maybe worn out each other's welcome for a while, and...
Wear it on the nose. On the nose. Hooray!
Someone really moved. He must have thrown it inside right from the very beginning, because I never even touched it. Oh, no, look at this. Ooh, almost flipped it.
I can see all of ours. I can see all of this red one over here.
Yeah. I can see all of it. I can even hit it.
So Ed Lukowich trying to battle his way back. He's down $4,200. Looking to pick up $900 here. If he can score a couple, and he's got one in there now. John Ferguson, his second stone. Here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, great.
He's playing curling right back.
Whoa.
It's on the front one.
Half of this one?
Missed opportunities.
Well, the ice is actually...
I like to just get rid of these two.
It's easier for me to like it, because I'm sitting up here. I'm not having a curl on it, but it's a little bit tricky, and it's it's with the one turn coming this way, the out turn really moves quickly, and the in turn stays a little straighter.
Okay. I think so. Let's try it.
You just want to miss this one here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Half a rock. Don't hit it thin. I need a little more ice.
Good.
Give me a little more ice.
Well,
It's gonna go good at the end.
It's an interesting shot. He's gonna try and run it back. Here's the rocks in the house. You can see them. A good split screen.
You ready? We're gonna go that way. Yeah.
Eddie Werenich's first stone.
Took it through the hole.
What do you think?
That work. Yeah. See up top there?
Yeah.
To make it triple?
Yeah.
One of the few missed shots by this rink so far.
See it now. He just ticks the yellow one. Moves them both. But Lukowich now is lying 1 and 2.
Now, where do you want to go here, Ray, if you've got this shot? Do you, Lukowich, does he want it tucked in behind, or does he just want to split it in such a way you can't make a double here?
He looks, by the looks of the ice, it looks like he might be playing it, to the side. No, he's going around with the out turn. I'm just going to kind of move that front one back, I think is what he actually played. He didn't take a lot of ice.
Maybe in the ring.
All the way in. Great.
Line's good. Just wait.
Line's good, he says. I have to be honest and tell you, I'm not exactly sure what he was playing, because he didn't give us a clear call, or if he did, I missed it. And
this?
I think he looked like he was just trying to play that front one back a little bit,
What do
just
you wanna
tap it
do?
straight back maybe.
Is there a hole there? No. This? Yeah, you said there's got to draw the one from there. Draw here. If it breaks just right, I can draw to here. But then he's got easy raises. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Hey? Okay.
$900 on the line here in this
Maybe not.
seventh end. Ed Lukowich needing 2 points to pick up that skin.
He's lying 3 or 4 possibly, I think, down there. I think 3 for sure.
And Ed Werenich now with his last stone.
He's lying 3. What the wrench is doing here is going to just play the draw, try and just kind of tick off the second shot rock and roll into the 4-foot. Force Eddie Lukowich to hit the full 4-foot for his 2 points. He's really moving. I don't think he's going to have to even throw it. No, that's it.
He moved it, and it is. He doesn't have to throw that last stone, and so that miss by Ed Werenich gives $900 in the first skin of this semifinal to Ed Lukowich. So maybe Cool Hand Luke is starting to come back now as he picks up his first skin here in Brandon. When we come back, another $900 will be on the line in end number 8.
Before you go into video game battles, soldier, you better check your equipment. Because Sega's playing for keeps. The Sega Master System and Nintendo's control deck cost about the same. But with Sega, you get more ammo. Safari Hunt, Hang On, and the Maze Game. With Nintendo, you only get one. Only Sega has electronic 3D capability as an add-on accessory. Sega's Master System comes with Phaser Gun. Nintendo's doesn't. With the Sega Master System, you're done already. Sega blows the competition away.
Mom, I'm sick.
Oh, dear. You come right along, and we'll do something special to help you breathe easier. Vicks has a special way to look after you no matter what kind of cold caught you. Like Vicks VapoRub. We'll put VapoRub's special medicated vapors to work on that stuffy head. And you'll soon feel much, much better. Sleep tight. It's good to know that someone cares, because someone does. Vicks Soothing Cold Relief.
After 7 ends, that's the way it stands in this first semifinal of the 1988 TSN Skins game. Savage and Werenich, 4,200 to 900 as we go to the 8th end, and this one is also worth $900. And still the possibility, Ray, of Ed Lukowich coming back and winning this. And there you see the clocks, 21 and change for Savage, Lukowich 23 and 16. General assumption is what, 6.5 minutes per end?
6.5 to 7, 6.5 minutes is perfect.
So 3 ends to go, so both rinks right now not in any danger unless they slow it up considerably. They still each have one minute timeout remaining.
Well, it's one of the things that I think that all curlers can, take note of is that these curlers are not only aware of the game, they're aware of the clock and the time, and neither one of these players are, slow players at the best of times. But I think if we speed the game up, we'll do nothing but help it. And, there's no excuse or no reason for 3.5 hour, 4 hour, 10-end curling games. It's ridiculous. If the players are ready to throw and in position, and the skips and thirds are ready to make their calls, there's only 2 or 3 times in a game that you really have to take some time. And you see the best in the world, which we're watching tonight, to play the game the way it should be played. It's like everybody across our country should take note of it.
Brent Symes' first stone right on the center line, about a foot, maybe 2 feet in front of the rings. And Werenich right away tried to go behind it as he tries to get 2 points here and pick up $900 here at end number 8.
It was tight, and but it was on the center line, covering the 4-foot, and Eddie went right around it. Stone comes up, Neil Harrison Stone comes up a little bit short. But you can see what Eddie Lukowich has asked Brent Sign to do here now. He's going to go around it with the other turn.
May sound naive, but what makes that? I mean, is that 1.5 foot make you change your mind about coming behind a rock being too tight and not too tight?
Well, yeah, well, sometimes the tighter, not sometimes, the tighter they are, the more difficult they are to get around and be fully buried. You don't have as much room to curl.
Then it comes down to a judgment thing whether you think your person, your thrower, can get it in behind.
And the time in the game dictates a lot of things. You know, Eddie Lukowich, for example, he's got to win all the skins. He's got to win these skins to move on to that final. So
some pretty good numbers by both leads in this game so far. Neil Harrison and Brent Sign.
Percentages in this curling are not going to be as high as they are in round robin play under a normal format, Vic. And the reason for that is that, you know, you're playing so many quiet shots, so many fine shots, so many tap backs, you know, and they're difficult shots.
Well, maybe an indication right here as Neil Harrison buries it just at the back of the 4 is that he more than likely wouldn't get an opportunity to play that shot very often, would he?
Not as often, that's for sure. Good point.
But it just goes to show you, as you've made the mention before, leads have got to be able to throw them off too.
Oh, the toughest spot on the team by far.
Water in. Hurry, hurry. Lane. Hurry. Water in. Just wait. Hurry. Better. Ready?
Didn't come over quite as much, and it sits, maybe 3/4 open.
But it's a pretty good shot. He's got it at the top of the button. And
John Kawaja. It's interesting here. The numbers for the leads a little higher than the seconds. It'll be interesting to see what the thirds are curling, if they're a little lower as well.
Going to drive it back onto it. Just setting up again. Good for. Actually, if you think back into this game, Vic, Lucas really had some great opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, and he had the big hit for the $3,600, and
sailed it by. And it's been some breaks.
Same shot.
Excuse me for a minute.
Sure.
The bad thing about that was he missed it completely and gave up the steal. If he hits it and rolls out, it's a carryover. You know, it was a big miss.
Yeah, hurry.
Neil Houston.
Hurry. Oh, wait. Hurry. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, what a good shot.
Good shot.
Didn't come quite as much at the end as they thought it would. Because that rock, you can see, that's a good picture of it right there. You can see 3/4 of it. No more than that. Almost the whole thing. So John can hit this. If he hits it a touch on the outside, he can maybe even get the double.
Second shot for John Kawaja. Lukowich with shot stone right now.
The double's there, the possible double. If he just catches it.
No, he drives it straight
back.
back.
Too much, yeah. You can see, an interesting thing is happening. You can see Paul Savage is not doing a lot of brushing right now, of course, and he's not used to doing a lot of brushing, and maybe just a little tired, and so Neil Harrison's having to do all the brushing.
Yeah, something like that'd be good. Yeah, sure.
Paul's just saving himself for the big shots. That's what he'd tell you.
Yeah. Good line.
Very hard.
Hurry.
So you got the weight, Vic?
Where do we go?
Well. Right off. Okay.
Now he leaves it short.
Well, he was trying to cover that front rock.
Okay.
There you got an idea. The numbers progressively getting worse and lower. Oh, they're at 50% for Savage. So the shot's getting a little tougher to make as you move up.
Well, this is a good opportunity now. Paul can make this hit here.
the other way. No, he'll go out and roll out as well. But you're right, the chance was there for him to roll in behind all that junk in front.
I don't care.
You gotta remember now, Savage is lying too, and that's all he has to do to get the skin. And if he gets the skin, he puts a stranglehold on this situation.
Just draw. Make sure you're here.
Okay.
Draw away.
The rink with the most money won will advance to the skins final.
Yeah.
And right now it's $4,200 for Savage and Werenich to $900 for Lukowich.
Right off.
So
right off.
Cool Hand Luke
Right
needs
Yeah.
the money, or at least for Sakari over here.
Oh, right. Right up. Okay.
Still not good enough. Leaves Savage and Werenich lying too.
Knows that, eh?
But you can see what Paul's saying. We just can't leave that rock there.
You can hit this. It's going to go like that.
It's a nice
Then we leave a
call.
hole. That's, yeah, maybe we want to leave a big hole, Jim.
It's going to kill that one.
Can I hit that red one anywhere, Eddie? Yeah, we
You
can
roll
still
your
everything
shooter
over there, Jim.
here.
Okay.
That's what they're talking about, folks. They're going to play that. The angle's
Are
right.
they trying to cross it?
Yep.
He's playing all the angles, huh?
I'll be firm. Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah.
So try to shoot that redstone at the top of the 12 out the side, and maybe get his yellow one to squirt in and he'll line 3 possibly.
That's right. The big thing is they want to remove that red stone that's sitting in the 12-foot. The rock coming into view right now. That one there.
Oh, what a shot. Look at this by Paul Savage.
The angle was set up perfect for him, and Eddie Wernich's an old pool player, and he was quick to see it. Paul had indicated we could just play down and hit that one on the nose, but Eddie said the angle's perfect.
I wouldn't mind just leaving that for a minute. We gotta come here, right?
Now where do you go? There's not many places to hide.
Well, you heard Luke talk. He said John Ferguson indicated to play the out turn around to the stone that's sitting at the 3 o'clock or the 2:30 position, biting the 4-foot, the one we're looking at now. And Eddie said, no, let's just leave that for now, and we'll come with the in turn and freeze to the back one, the one sitting at the 7 o'clock position, just biting the back of the 4-foot. There it is right there, the 12 o'clock being at the top of the rings. We move around 3, 6. So he's going to freeze down to that yellow stone sitting in the back of the 4-foot at about the 7 o'clock position. The one just biting the 4-foot.
Yeah, great.
Ed Lukowich and his first stone. Desperate now to force a carryover here in this 8th end. Boy, this reminiscent of that shot. He came up light and earlier in the game, remember?
Yeah, he's in trouble now because Savage and Wernick are in good position to get their 2 points.
Then I can just tap for shoot. Gotta get it to there, right? Okay. Tough spot. How are we gonna do that? Well, you got it there. Right there? Yeah. I'm gonna crank that. Oh yeah.
Has he been guessing about his weight all game?
Well, I think the shot that really fooled him was that the out turn hit when he played the out turn hit for the 3600. It ran straight down. He either overthrew it a bit, Dick, or
Well, in off ours, but rattling and in it. 6.
How many times do you see Ed Werenich curling 46%?
I don't think that the percentages are that's important in this game as much as they are normally. But
that's the point. That's how difficult the shots are in a game like this.
Line's good. Whoa.
How deep does he want this, right?
No, he wants it out top. He doesn't want it deep at all. He just want to sit it back there. It's the worst possible spot for it. He wanted it at the top of the 12-foot, or top of the 8-foot, I should say.
So now it's something to play up to?
Well, he had his 2 points set up. Let's hear him. Let's listen to him. Nice cough.
One inch too far.
Yeah. 1 inch too far.
Yep.
That's where he wanted.
Okay,
Then he
you
wanted
come
it
by hard. You might be able to move that one.
Yeah,
Come by
I
real
think
tight.
We're going to stay around then for anything.
This is the biggest key shot in the whole game for Luke. He's got to get his single here.
Well, he gives up 900 here. It's over. And,
Or he's got to hold Paul Savage and Eddie Werenich to 1 point. And right now they're line 4.
You almost got to roll this way, eh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go this way. You can get shot rock here.
You almost anything up top.
Well, it's a chance you got to take.
Still got to hit it, eh?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think? Just nice. Lightweight?
Yeah.
Huh. So he tries to hide it in behind those stones, and
he's going to try and hit that rock sitting in the 4-foot, the one at 12 o'clock, and try and just roll a little bit to the outside of the 4-foot. So he's shot rock half behind the stone sitting in the 8-foot. So we roll to about the 11 o'clock or 10:30 position. And he's got to make this or
it's lights out. And they'll just be playing for pocket money.
Pocket money. I'd like to have pocket money like
Werenich will advance to the final. Some big money, though, available in those final 2 ends.
He's got lots of weight. Should break a bit for him, though. Here it comes now. They got to get the roll. They've got to get the roll.
There's the hit, the roll, and he'll roll too much and put the $900 on the side of Paul Savage and Ed Werenich. And it's been that kind of night for the cool hand of Ed Lukowich. When we come back, we'll go to the 9th end, and it is worth $1,200 in a TSN Skins game, 1988.
Can your motor oil survive the punishment today's engines dish out? Circulating the oil twice as fast, working the oil twice as hard, breaking it down and causing it to lose its viscosity. That's why you need an oil with the additive that does more to help prevent viscosity breakdown. Castrol XLR, the oil engineered for today's cars. Look for Castrol XLR at these and other leading retailers.
It's been that kind of night for Ed Lukowich on the left, $900. The big winner so far, Eddie Werenich and Paul Savage, $5,100. We go to the 9th end, and it's worth $1,200.
Well, I mean, Eddie Lukowich has had all kinds of opportunity in this game. I mean, he had a wide open hit for 2 points, which would have given him $3,600, and the situations may be well reversed, Dick. So it's one of those nights. He now has to try and pick up $1,200 this end and put some more money in his pocket.
Well, $1,200 this end, and the final end will be worth $1,800. So in 2 ends, there's $3,000 here, and Lukowich could still go home with $3,900. Not bad for
day's work,
the way it looks right now. Lukowich maintains he has the hammer here in the 9th end, so he'll try and score 2. Brent's time. And his first stone slides to the back.
Well, they're playing the end for $1,200, and the wrench has to steal, so But he's got himself a trip to the final, and that was the first priority. That was the number one. Is the money increases tomorrow, and you can't make it if you don't get there, Vic. So.
Yep.
You heard Luke say at the top of the program that he considers him the best skins player in the country, and he may very well be.
Neil Harrison with his second stone, wrecks out in front, but splits them, rolls the shooter in as well. His stone now in behind that, his own stone at the top of the 12.
Well, you'll see all the rocks in play, as many rocks as possible as far as Luke's concerned. He's got to get 2 points here. So.
They draw it into the top of the 4, and it's half buried.
Ray's hit easier. It's a straight rock.
That's an excellent shot. Ray's hits easier. He says it's a straight shot.
Hurry! Hurry!
John Kawaja and his second stone. Here in the 9th end, and we're playing for $1,200.
1 and 2.
Oh, what a great shot. 2 great shots by John Kawaja. His first the hit and roll, and now he makes the Rays take it.
Well, that's
and they're just ganging up on him now, aren't they?
They sure are. That's Ed Werenich's third man now, of course.
That's what he said, yeah.
Well, Lukowich referred to Eddie Werenich being the best skins player, in this country, and may very well be in the skins game so far through the years. He's made a lot of money. $30,000 to Lukowich's $22,000, and Hackner's made $10,500. Howard $1,200. Rick Folk $1,000. So he loves this format. He loves this game.
Stay on the line a long time. It must be on pretty good.
Lukowich, lying 1. Top of the 4, and it'll be Paul Savage, and his first stone here in the 9th end.
Because that was actually Paul's fault, because he called him off it. And
said was all the way. Sweep it.
And Eddie was saying all the way, and Paul called him off it. No.
I didn't see it come off it. I was looking down, eh?
Paul shaking his head as if to know he got a break.
Yeah. Line. Good line. Hurry. Yeah, hurry. Very hard.
Trying to duck it behind it now.
Well.
It's not too much.
Okay, Bert. Good try. Good shooting, guys.
I was young, yeah. We got the bad hearing.
Have you heard that Neil saying? We've got the bad hearing. Because they came back, Neil Harrison came back to say to Paul Savage, did you want us to sweep that one? He says, yeah, I was telling you. He says, no, we've got the bad hearing.
No, and we can prove to Paul that he said whoa on that. So we'll have to talk to him, because he called him off, and Neil's right.
Hurry.
Same weight, Jay. No, weight's okay.
John Ferguson and his second stone here in this 9th end worth $1,200.
Yeah.
Lukowich Rink looking to score 2.
No.
They're in a tight.
If not, at least force it over and maybe play for $3,000 in the 10th and final end.
Not much left there.
go around this now. He's trying to get to the top of the forefoot.
Think back to that shot he made, Eddie Werenich made second end when he made the double kill to carry it over.
It's the only thing I don't want to do is be heavy. Make it too easy for him.
Lots. Ready? Lots. Needs a rub. Come on. Got a rub. Oh, do you need a rub? Whoa. It's a big rub. You need a big rub. Okay, Bert.
Well, that's where he didn't want it. That's where he didn't want it. But you heard him say, let's not, you know, be too deep and make it too easy for him. They wanted that around, but they wanted it someplace in front, top of the 8-foot, top of the 4-foot. This is actually a useless shot.
So this will be the first stone for Lukowich. He wants this right down on top of that.
Yeah, he'll try and tuck this around. He's got to score his 2 points. Pick up the skin.
Look at the ice here, Ray.
I'm taking that's it's got 4 feet of, you know, it's going to be a 4-foot movement in this, so good 3 feet of ice he took. At the end, it all depends on the weight now.
Let it go.
Good shot.
And he tucks it in behind.
So taking about 3 feet of ice.
Jam it anyway. You want to freeze or hit it?
I think this is, see, now they're taking another 6 inches of ice here because he's just going to try and freeze to the face of it. And even if you're short here, Vic, you really make it difficult for Luke to get his 2 points to pick up the dough.
We can't get shot rock by freezing. Okay.
No, but can he get 2?
Well, he makes a great shot, he can.
Just a little more ice than this one?
Yeah. A ton more, actually.
Yeah, he's taking a good 6 inches ice, more ice.
Final stone of this 9th end for Eddie Werenich.
Wasn't happy with his release. You can see when he let it go.
Yeah, like he caught something maybe.
Wait on, Lee.
Can't be heavy. Line's good. Come on. Come on, move it.
Right up on top is where he wanted it. And right up on top is where he gets. Now, is there enough there that he could squeeze it out and lie to?
He can draw for 2, Vic. This is the last rock at the end, and he'll just try and get through there. And
so if he can get a big enough piece of that button, he'll pick up his 1200.
Just get it full on the forefoot. You can see, we'll see in a moment, he's just going to be taking a little bit more ice. There it is there, a good look at it. He's taking right to the edge of the 12 foot. Now, you know, for our viewers to notice, you can see that Paul Savage gave Eddie Werenich about 6 inches less ice than that, and now Eddie Lukowich has got to go a little bit further and try and catch the full 4 foot.
So the chance here for Ed Lukowich to make amends for a couple of missed opportunities earlier. It's a big shot, though. He's got to almost put it right on the button for $1,200. If not, he's got one, and they'll force it and carry it over.
Right up, Bob. Right up. Right up. Right up. Bob.
Great. Oh, it's going to go too far.
It slips on by. So Lukowich picks up his one, and they'll carry the $1,200 over to the 10th and final end. And so when we come back, end number 10 will be worth $3,000 in the 1988 TSN Skins game.
McCain Super Fries, deep fried flavor and crispness from your oven. For the strong, silent type.
The challenge of competition, the calculated risks, the win. Asham Curling Supplies salutes curling. Get in on the fun. Asham Curling Supplies, with good service, good quality, and good prices, invites you to get in on the excitement, get in on the action, get in on the fun. Asham Curling Supplies, the ones to see for curling. You can't beat them. Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips.
You like big finishes? We've got one here. And number 10 worth $3,000 in this first semifinal of the 1988 TSN Skins game. Paul Savage, Ed Werenich will have the hammer, so they've got to score a couple of points. Ed Lukowich looking to steal and add 3,000 to his 900 already on the board, and certainly the face will tell you a lot about how the game's gone for Ed Lukowich.
We should remind our viewers as well, Vic, I think that if there is no skin here, then the two skips will throw closest to the button for that $3,000, so we've got lots of excitement left. Mr. Lukowich will have the choice of whether he throws first or lets Mr. Werenich throw first based on the draw that he made to start this whole event off.
All right.
You know, it's funny when you look at that draw, and Lukowich made it to have his choice of last rock and playing partner. From that draw, you would have said, boy, oh boy, Luke is really on. Because I mean, he put it on the lid.
He sure did. He put it right in the hole.
But he struggled in this. He struggled in this semifinal so far.
Well, I missed that one big shot. That was really the key. That 6-10.
A little rub, kiss.
Not a bad shot, though. You got to remember that Eddie Werenich has to get 2 here to get this skin, this $3,000 skin.
How many? 20?
And Luke has to steal. Brent's sign has to play that. Come around that center guard, coming into view right there. There it is.
This is second stone.
You don't want this too deep now. You want this top of the forefoot if possible.
Okay, Brent.
Just a little too deep.
Yep.
Top 8 preferably.
Yeah, top of the forefoot would have been perfect. I think what Eddie's going to do now is just come down and he covered the TSN, didn't he?
Hurry! 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 Hurry!
Oh, nicely done. Just by. And the shooter will roll out as well.
Inside roll. Sorry, now.
Once again, you heard the wrench say sorry, Neil.
Yeah.
Just acknowledging the fact that I didn't give you enough ice. So that's what all he's doing, and that's something.
Well, let's not forget now, those two aren't playing together. I mean, they should know each other well enough, but they're not playing together anymore this year. So,
But as I mentioned earlier, Eddie Werenich beat Paul Savage in the Kitchener Cash Field just recently, so they.
Yeah, come on. Great. Just putting blank.
Neil Houston tries to take advantage of that long center line guard.
This in for $3,000, and Savage has to. Savage Werenich has to score 2. Luke has to steal.
Yeah, I like a little more.
John Kawaja.
Really made a move. You can hear John yell.
Another nice shot by that front end, John Kawaja. He's made a couple of beauties. And you're right. You pointed out before that Paul Savage isn't working the brush very much, so it's all up to Neil Harrison.
Yeah, he doesn't do a lot of brushing, and it takes a it takes a lot out of you. It's, especially he said he did a little plate lead of the weekend just to get himself ready for this, to get some brushing in. But he is a tremendous competitor and has been since I first saw him in 1970 at the Briar in Winnipeg, and he's just a young kid. Just been absolutely a great curler for all those years. and he hasn't let up, and there doesn't seem to be any indication he's going to.
They exchange stones now at the top of the 12-foot. And John Lukowich slides your way with his second stone.
But Harry's been a lead all his life, and he knows never to drop, to move away from the stones, and he'll be there. He's throwing third for Paul Savage now, though, so that'll be interesting to see how he adapts to that position. He's done lots of skipping in the National Firefighters, having won the Canadian Championship. But he's playing third now for Paul Savage, so.
John Ferguson trying to come the other way, but he can't get it around. Now,
little things.
Why go to the other side of the ice if you know that?
Well, you can't. Yeah, you really couldn't get in very well at the other turn, Vic. You'll see the Yellowstone was sitting in a position that it was so tight to the rings that it was a natural to go to the other side.
Go the other side.
The other way. Yeah. Okay. It stands for $3,000, so it's certainly nothing to sneeze at.
The time not a factor right now. More than 8 minutes remaining on the Savage clock, more than 6, nearly 6.5 remaining on the Lukowich clock, and we're in the final lane.
Doug Maxwell's our timekeeper here today, and actually it was Doug's idea originally to get the chess clocks involved, and it's a tremendous idea. I hope that nationally and internationally they take a long, hard look at it. I think it'll be good for the game. And, excellent for the viewers, for the spectators, so you don't have to sit through 3.5 and 4-hour curling games.
And it's being picked up by other bonspiels, and we've seen it, and so it's nice to be an innovator.
Stay with it, somebody, you heard Paul say.
Boy.
That's okay, that's okay.
Right on the button again.
Well, he's lying his 2 points right now, but that rock is sitting pretty deep, so Luke will just come to the face of it.
Again, if they can steal here, Lukowich, they'll take the 3,000. Werenich needs 2 to pick up the $3 grand. If neither of them get it, well, then they'll have a draw to the button for $3,000.
He'll come now. See it move off that line? It's going to curl too much, I think.
Isn't that something?
The weight was absolutely, John's weight was absolutely perfect. And now you can see the wrench. He's quick to the broom. He'll just come to the face of that. There's the indication. Freeze to that. We are in great shape.
Go right there, and you'll never see. Yeah, but that's a tough shot, Paul. As soon as you roll anywhere, he's out. Let's make him throw a tough one. He could play. Like even if you get half in here.
I know, but listen, he can play his intern, and generally
he can.
He steals the end.
Not if you're here, Paul.
Well,
because then he's going to have to make it awfully good.
The thing is, what we're trying to avoid is an steal opportunity for him, right?
Yeah, I don't want to hit that very badly, though, because as soon as you roll away, he's right here. I think we got a draw, Skipper. I like the draw. If they want to change it, fine.
Even if he is right there, that guard's not really in play anymore.
I like it right here. I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
I'm just thinking if we hit...
Tough hit to, it's very tough to hit a perfect hit. I mean, it's very tough for him to raise that.
Well, what I was saying, he could take center ice and raise it with his intern if I make a perfect draw here.
You make a perfect draw.
You like the draw?
Yeah.
Neil Harrison really has a lot of input into the game. He always has had, and that was a good demonstration of the compatibility among these 4 curlers and how they work together as a unit. It's something that all curlers should be doing, They decided to draw. Eddie wanted to draw, and they all decided, Paul wanted to play the hit, and they went to the draw, and they're playing the draw.
Interesting now to see how the ice moves or reacts for them here.
Here it comes. It'll come right now. Here it comes now. Here, see it move, Dick? If he gets it right there, Eddie's right. It's going to be in a great spot.
Right in on top, and he's lying too. So now how do you get him out?
Well, you throw from this end, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
They're right in there.
Move him out of the 4 foot, eh?
Enough to bump him back there.
He's going to try and hit that top one and just kind of move it out of the 4 foot, sit in front of the other. That's all he's got, I think.
It's been a game filled with tough shots for Ed Lukowich. Here's another one. But the shot that he missed.
See if you can come down, Vic, and just hit the top stone that sits in the 4 foot, the one that Paul just put there, and sit in front of the other one. He's going to make it very hard for Eddie Werenich to get his 2 points, and that's about all he's got right now. He's fighting for a carryover here, believe me.
Now, right up, right up. Right up. Right up. Come on.
It's going to the back one. Going to catch it to corner, but it's going to hit it too thin, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't even get to it. No. Stayed out too far.
Just hasn't had his touch, has he?
No.
Yeah, put it right here, eh?
It's interesting because I think more so than maybe the ice, it seems that he's fought with the weight. In other words, he hasn't thrown the weight that he's broomed himself for.
Take our chances on that one. Can you make one of those 2 years in a row? I'd like to get half and half. I don't know.
Can you make one of those 2 years in a row?
A little more ice, Eddie?
It's referring to a shot he played last year.
That's more than you had. Yeah,
my
maybe.
first one. My first
Wouldn't
one.
hurt, I guess. Huh? What do you guys, where you want this rock?
The broom's coming into view now. You can see that they just
or,
taking a little more ice than
so many of them.
did on his first one.
If he gets any corner buried,
Yeah, he's gonna play that angle raise. He makes it. Yeah, we'd like to get it in the house in case he makes it, and then I get another one.
So he's got 2 buried.
6, I guess.
Yep.
And that's what Werenich needs here in this 10th end to win 3,000.
I shot bad. How's the bait? It's good. Maybe a little tight for line. Line's good. Not bad.
Ready!
Seems the further you go out, the more they snap.
Really hard!
All right.
Worked out pretty well for him, though.
I don't know.
I think that though Luke can maybe play this raise now.
My shot for 2 to be easier. So I wanted it over here a little more.
Somehow he's got to get in there, or
Could play the draw here, too.
Well, he can play the draw, but Luke's looking at maybe playing this, the rock at 12 onto the red stone. But
I just don't know if his will spin out or not, eh? His might spin out, eh?
Yeah.
We probably got to throw regular.
Oh, yeah. I think we could play this.
Good luck calling it.
good luck calling, good luck calling it.
My eyes, I can't see it anyways.
That's the one I was talking about, Vic. They're going to play this, try and hit this on the nose, drive it back onto the red stone, which will drive it back onto the yellow one, hoping to spin them out.
and you know something, it may be the best shot to call because he hasn't had much luck with his draw weight.
No, he sure hasn't. He may get a chance with his. If he doesn't make this, it's all over.
He's got to spill him. He's got to leave his stone at least lying one here.
For second shot.
Final stone of this 10th end worth $3,000. It's on its way for Ed Lukowich. Oh, yes.
Oh, it didn't. Oh, such a good shot. It just didn't go far enough.
He makes the shot he needs, but his shooter, or the raised stone, moves out into the open. And now it's a hit for
I can't be
2.
wide, that's all.
Yeah, it's a hit for 2, or you know, he could draw for the other one too, but it's obviously a hit for 2.
Go this way, Clue.
This hasn't had any luck. It had to come a little bit more, had to curl a little bit more, and it didn't. He hits it, and to just curl a bit, he comes off of his own, off of the other yellow one. You can see what the rocks are all moving now. So the wrench, this is what he's looking at. This is how it ended up.
And he has this shot now, the hit worth
$3,000. This shot is worth $3,000 for sure, for sure.
Right on.
Nice weight.
Weight looks good. No mistake.
just like that. $3,000 into the kitty for Eddie Werenich.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's been a good payday for the Wrench and Paul Savage as they leave this first semifinal with $8,100. We'll have more from the 1988 TSN Skins game in just a minute.
The symbol of excellence, Rolls-Royce. And of all the magnificent automobiles bearing this crest, there is one single classic that surpasses all others, the legendary Silver Ghost. Now recreated by Franklin Mint Precision Models in a collector's piece so exceptional, it's the official model authorized by Rolls-Royce Motor Cars. The Silver Ghost, only one was ever built. The 1907 masterpiece that established Rolls-Royce as the master car builder. It passed every endurance test of its time and still runs perfectly today. The priceless flagship of the Rolls-Royce line, now in a stunning die-cast model with protectively coated silver-plated trim. And assembled from more than 127 pieces. Each feature is authenticated by Rolls-Royce Motor Cars, like the removable spare tire, sterling silver-plated trim, exactly like the original. Tiny instruments, pedals, and controls. Engine detailing precise to the last spark plug. You can almost hear the ghost-like hum of its motor. Details to satisfy the most demanding car enthusiast and sophisticated collector. A showpiece for home or office. To order, call 1-800-543-1012. Use your credit card or mail $36.25 by check or money order to the Franklin Mint. You will be billed the balance in 3 monthly payments of $36.25 each. With your model comes a history and certificate of authenticity signed by Rolls-Royce Motor Cars. The imported Silver Ghost is available only from Franklin Mint Precision Models with the die-cast metal craftsmanship of models costing thousands of dollars. Now only 4 payments of $36.25 each. Call 1-800-543-1012. The Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, a most incredible model of the world's most incredible car.
There's nothing quite like owning a Rolls-Royce.
$8,100 for the Paul Savage Eddie Werenich combination, and $900 for Eddie Lukowich. The big shot in this game is the sixth end. You can see Eddie Lukowich got a wide open out-turn hit for $3,600. Runs down the center line, it just didn't move. I think maybe he threw a little more weight than he had in mind, and it stays straight. And not only does he, if he hits it and rolls out, we carry the money on, but no, he misses it completely, and it's a steal of 1 point for Savage and Werenich and $3,600, and that's the key shot of that particular game. Savage at $8,100, Eddie Lukowich $900, and Savage and Werenich move on to the final. Vic has the skips downstairs, so down to you, Vic.
Watching movies on television without TV Guide is kind of like fresh popcorn without the butter. TV Guide for the full flavor of television. And sports on television, without TV Guide, would be kind of like a hot dog without the mustard. TV Guide, for the full flavor of television.
Gillette is changing the face of shaving with Atra. First, we made it closer with a pivoting head. Now there's Atra Plus to make it smoother. The advanced lubricants in a unique white Lubra Smooth strip are released to deliver Gillette's closest, most comfortable shave ever. Face it, nothing comes closer to your kind of shave. Atra Plus from Gillette, the essence of shaving.
There you see the final score in this first semifinal of the 1988 TSN Skins game. Paul Savage, Ed Werenich, $8,100 to Eddie Lukowich's $900. We apologize for the audio problem, Eddie. You said you just didn't show up today. Is it that simple? You just didn't have it?
I played one of the worst games I've ever played. I think I was about 50%, maybe 40, and in a lot of cases I made my first shot, but I never made a shot that really counted in the whole game. And my team played exceptionally well. I think we had Wernich's team in trouble in a lot of ends, and I just didn't play well.
Ray was making the point during the game that you looked like you were battling not necessarily the ice, but maybe the kind of weight that you had to throw.
Yeah, I've had really good draw weight this year, but in that game, I just wasn't drawing well at all, and just one of those things, kind of a mid-season slump and nothing you can do about it.
Now, you haven't played together as a rink a whole lot. Brent was telling me before we started. Is that a possibility of maybe a little bit of a letdown?
I don't think so. Like the guys came out and played really well, and lead, second, and third played a really, really good game. And so, and I didn't play a bad game as far as calling the rocks in the rings. For my players' shots, I had a pretty good game there, but it was just on my own throwing.
And that big shot. I mean, you had a shot for $3,600, and that was the one that cost you.
Yeah, we hadn't really played a shot in that spot, and it was just a little tricky, and I hadn't been throwing well at that time, and that rock just never moved in the spot that we threw it. So it was just a game where I didn't do anything right, you know.
You called him. You said that Eddie Werenich possibly was the best Skins player that you'd ever seen. I think he showed it here tonight.
Well, I wasn't really impressed with the way they played. They've played us much better before in Skins games before, when Eddie and Paul played real well, and when I played well. I think today my team outcurled them. Was a simple case that I just didn't play well.
Okay, Eddie, I thank you very much. Eddie Werenich, why don't we bring you in here? Eddie Werenich comes in and joins me now, and congratulations. That's not a bad start. Eddie Lukowich makes the point. He thinks you've curled better, and but not today. You still won, but do you think you've curled better?
You know, the last couple of years have been really tough for me, Vic. I struggled a lot, and that's why I cut my schedule back this year. And then I find out when late this afternoon, Paul says, well, I've been struggling, so you're skipping. So I thought I played pretty good under the circumstances, you know, having the skipping job thrown at me so late. And I threw in the sixth end, I threw what I thought was a smart shot, turned out to be a terrible shot. But the ice was difficult enough that you were going to see some important misses. And don't forget, we're playing for a lot of money.
And there was an awful lot of swing in that ice. Ray mentioned, and we looked at it, there's sometimes 4 or 5 feet of swing there.
Oh, that's the way the game should be played. It's called curling, and we sure did have our fun out there.
I appreciate it very much. Congratulations. Now you get it to sit back and watch. Maybe it'll be Howard, maybe it'll be Ryan in the final.
Doesn't matter. They're both quality teams. We've seen them play a lot.
And you already got $8,100 in your pocket. Congratulations.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Ray Turnbull, come join me, please. It was that kind of game. It's a surprisingly comment from Ed Lukowich that, in fact, he thinks that he has seen Werenich curl better, but he still came away with $8,100.
Well, he said to me too, Vic, that he just didn't seem to get himself into the game. He didn't read the ice, he felt, well for his own shots, and that was pretty evident. The outturn hit that he missed in the sixth end was a good indication of that. He may have overthrown a little bit. Eddie Werenich thought he maybe overthrew a little bit too, but he just had a little bit too much ice on it and didn't curl, and that was the big swing right there.
So $8,100, that's not a bad payday. He can still make a whole lot more, Ed Werenich, as he now advances to the final. Coming up in about 20 minutes' time at the top of the clock, we will be back with the other semifinal for you. It will be Pat Ryan against Russ Howard, live from the Keystone Center here in Brandon, Manitoba. But stay tuned right now for Sports Desk here on TSN. On behalf of Ray Turnbull and our entire crew, we'll see you in about 20 minutes here on the 1988 TSN